Good evening, everybody. I decided that one Matthew was not enough, so I added a second one and a third one. Gentlemen, please introduce yourselves.
Already.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Matt.
I'll go by Matthew P. to distinguish us here.
My real name is Matt, but we don't go by Matt over here. We go by Griff. So,
Yeah,
Griff.
that's
Nice to meet you, man.
You as well. Yeah, I had to pull out my mic here and this headset and dust them off. It's been a minute since I've done anything like this.
No, we're happy to have you here, bud. It's been a while since we've got. Actually, the last time we did this was actually, I think, free agency day.
Almost a year ago, right?
That's a funny thing to talk about, considering we were sitting there when the Keandre Miller trade came across, and we were all kind of like, "Huh?" We weren't mad about it. We just didn't understand why. I think now we know.
Mm.
Oh yeah, what a player!
Mm-hmm.
I believe he was Carolina's best defenseman in the playoffs.
He was.
Amen.
And they did it, and they did it.
It still doesn't feel real, even after a few days. It doesn't feel real still.
It will never get old. I am because last time I was 14 years old, I did not truly appreciate what I saw. The 20 years in between have taught me to appreciate this. And I've told my wife, is like, you better get used to be listening to or watching the game and the final few minutes over and over again for a long time, because I'm going to be doing it for a while.
I'm starting to question my my sanity, because that's all I've done. Like I was telling my wife earlier, I was like, you know what? So you know what? One of the good things is about us winning this cup is like there is so much content, like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, like where there's so much content. And I feel like I have to get through it all.
Yeah.
It's gonna take all summer.
Just consuming it, fire hose,
One cool thing, I haven't got to sit down and watch the whole thing yet, but Sportsnet posted it on their YouTube channel because ESPN did ESPN things when the Stanley Cup was over. They were just kind of like, oh, well, that's great. On to Sports Center because this isn't important or anything. And luckily, Sportsnet had the entire unedited, uncensored Stanley Cup celebration where you got to see all of it, because they interviewed like 4 or 5 players and immediately went to the whole Sports Center thing. I'm surprised they didn't find a way to talk about the NBA during the Stanley Cup being awarded. Yeah, it's like, but yeah, the Sportsnet has the whole thing on there and it's great. So this is actually an interesting comment we have right here, and this is a good thing for the panel to discuss here. Big question is, was Key the best or second best offseason move by Tulski? That is a tough decision.
It's got to be up there. I mean,
it's first or second. That's the only two it can be.
Yeah. I mean, Nick Ehlers, they're both pretty clutch. I mean, we needed them both. I mean, that's because they both brought something, because Key was really like Slavin-esque, but with a little bit more offense. And but Ehlers also completely changed the dynamic of the Hurricanes offense. It was a very, very different team than the previous year. So much better. And I think and Ehlers like single-handedly almost, because it's not just what he does, but the ramifications that he has throughout the lineup and what he was able to do and kind of different matchups he was able to create. It used to be that if you could check Aho and Svechnikov and Jarvis, that was it. Especially last year, that they couldn't do anything else. But now that's completely different, and teams couldn't. No one could handle it.
I think that Ehlers kind of directly and indirectly unlocked our offense. Like I think putting him on Stahl's line was, when it first happened, I was kind of like, what are we doing here? Like this guy came here to play, meaningful minutes, and we're sticking him on our checking line. Well, not only was that a genius move, he unlocked Jordan Stahl, right? Jordan Stahl had his best offensive year, almost of his career, or at least his Carolina Hurricanes career, right? And he had his best. The Cup final, that speaks for itself. The Conn Smythe speaks for itself. But what I'm like, he directly unlocked Jordan Stahl. But what I mean by indirectly unlocked our offense is you made the third line a legitimate scoring line as well as a checking line, right? Which then, I mean, that could indirectly affect the second line's matchup that opened that up and allowed it to be so dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which and then the first line was what it was. I mean, they were still. They were still drawing tough matchups, but I just think that the fact that you had a legitimate 4 lines that could play a 200-foot game and were dangerous offensively. I just feel like that is what got us over that hump, and that's why I would lean Ehlers.
You remember when I posted this?
Yes, I do.
What I personally remember about Ehlers is that, especially with Key, when we had to really shuffle lines throughout the season to figure out what eventually worked, because when he started on the first line, it was, I don't want to say lackluster, but it was getting kind of eye-opening how much the first line was still struggling, even with Ehlers there. So as Rod started tinkering around, I was like, God, I hope we did not get a player that eventually does not work. And then when you put him on the third line, like you said, Griff, it not only unlocked Ehlers, it unlocked Stahl, because you made that line more dynamic, way more dynamic. And I think I said Key was the best. Now I'm taking a second to think about it. It's kind of hard for me to pick, because everything worked beautifully the way Eric Tulsky, I'm sure he didn't envision it working this well, but I think he close enough to what he got here. And I don't know. I think we're very fortunate that what we got ended up working out in the end. And that's the only thing I can really feel like just kind of makes sense in my head.
I mean, yeah, like when I said it in the kind of the stream that we did a couple days ago. I have to bow to the master of Eric Tulsky, as us, as he called it, 18,000 assistant general managers try to tell him, how to do his job. He knows better than me. As much as I like to pretend I can do that job, or come out here and run my mouth, he sees it. He's a genius.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, it's neck and neck between the two. I'll give the edge to Keandre Miller only because of when Slavin went down early in the season. I was a little bit nervous about it. I'm like, I'm not worried about the team missing the playoffs, but I'd like for them to have a ton of home ice advantage, which of course they did, because they had it all the way through the playoffs, thanks to, Bossy doing what he did, Nystrom coming in and being serviceable when he played, Riley being serviceable when he needed to play, so on and so forth. Key gets the edge just because he took over a predefined role on the team that you didn't think anybody could remotely fill the shoes of, and he did that. Mm-hmm. Ehlers is, like I said, a very, very close second, but I would have to give it to Key, but barely. Like, that's not a knock on either one of them. I mean, you could flip a coin and get a different answer from anybody else, but they were both essential to everything that happened this season.
Yeah, and Key and Walker was definitely our best pair throughout the playoffs, easily.
Oh, hands without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt.
You mean Shea and Pesci weren't the devastating losses that I said that they weren't?
No. Well, I was kind of. I'm not gonna lie. I was in the camp of I was scared when they left, because who else are you going to get to replace them? It's not the fact that they left; it's who you're going to get to replace them. And this is where Eric Tulsky really deserves to get a heck of a lot of credit. All of these guys are here because of the Mikko Rantanen trade.
You mean the Logan Stankoven trade?
Yeah. The Logan
Stankoven trade.
I mean, he's not a 2C, but I am happy that he's here.
Yeah, but that one trade.
Come on, Griff. Get with the program, Griff.
July 1st, 2034. July 1st, 2034.
Is this rage bait?
I have no idea.
I'm just saying, I'm not convinced.
2.37C. Not convinced he's a 2C.
But Eric, I mean, that someone mentioned that. Like you said, I've been consuming all different types of media, and when someone said this, they said this whole group happened, the whole key pieces, Keandre, Ehlers, Stankoven, they do not happen without that Mikko Rantanen trade.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And what it created was a Stanley Cup winning team. One trade. That's it.
Yep.
Which everyone knocked at the time. And even if rumors are to be believed, we could have had our pick of like Stankoven, Wyatt Johnston, or Jason Robertson. And
that's what it sounds like.
That's what they were saying. I'm not sure if I believe it, but what I do believe is that Chris Humphrine said, get Stankoven.
I absolutely believe that because, like, think about the type of player that Tulsky likes to draft. Yeah, you're not drafting Stankoven, but you're trading for him when he's still very, very young. You're essentially going to have him for potentially his entire career. Mm-hmm. And he loves those analytically sound, high-effort players. And Stankoven fits that bill perfectly. And just because he's a little bit on the shorter side, he's not small. The kid is jacked, and he can play. And when you think about it, they also they don't want to make the mistake of bringing in someone who can't skate. Stankoven's a better skater than the other two players mentioned there. And I would wager to say he's currently the best skater on the Hurricanes. And the only player that might skate as well as him on the team is Ehlers. Ehlers is faster, but when you're talking about edge work and power skating, I think Stankoven is the best skater on the Hurricanes.
I remember you saying I remember you saying that in one of your podcasts. I don't think if you got Jason Robertson or Wyatt Johnson, those two wouldn't have worked here. I mean, it's not saying that they wouldn't have been useful, but I just don't think they would have fit. I don't know. It's just something when I watched them play. I don't know. I just don't see the fit like I saw with Stankoven when he got here.
Stankoven's a hell of a forechecker. Like, he's nasty. He's nasty in the offensive zone against the boards. I mean, he, as small as he is, he still comes out with the puck. I mean, more times than not. It's just and man, him and Blake are like made to play with each other. It's so sick.
That goal, their goal in Game 6 was just
amazing.
It was just
that was elbow grease if I ever saw it used.
It was so freaking good.
Those two go. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So that sequence, they got 3 takeaways. Mm-hmm. They cost 3 takeaways in like 15 seconds. Mm-hmm. That led to the goal. It was shot. The Vegas player got it. No, I'll take it back. Thank you. And then it was created another chance. Didn't go in. I'll take it back. And that they also I think it was Blake that actually initially caused a takeaway. All of which, by the way, against Noah Hannafin. They took the puck away from him no less than 3 separate times.
That made me happier.
And then Sank found Blake in the slot and a shoot and score. It is just it was just everything.
And it's we got it for 8 more years too. We got it for 8 more years.
I mean, at $11.1 million for 8 years for both of them.
Their cap hit combined is less than Mikko Rantanen.
Uh-huh.
And then in the playoffs, just it was just such a perfect mix. Like putting Taylor Hall there, the way he played in the playoffs, just like with that nasty edge, man. It was like,
he's a rat. I love it,
dude. It was
he's
awesome.
Such a rat.
It was so awesome just to see, like, and he's like when you watch somebody like Matthew Tkachuk play like that, it's obvious, like but when Taylor Hall plays like that, he's kind of, I don't know how to explain it. He just has like this innocent attitude to himself. Like,
who, me?
You know what I mean? Like me? Like what is this? Like,
that penalty he drew in Game 5, he totally brought that on himself when he got called, or when who was it that boarded him? Was it Howden?
I think it was McNabb.
It was McNabb. He totally got him in the back with right underneath the neck with the stick, and he did it just subtle enough to piss him off and get him to run him.
Dude, but man, like just the way, I mean, and not only was he playing like a rat, but man, he backed it up, dude. It was like, I mean, he was just possessed, and that whole line, I wouldn't. Look, I've always been like Brandon. I've always been a Stankoven believer. Like I've been on the bandwagon since day one, but like I still didn't think it was going to be that. Like I didn't, you know what I mean? Like I didn't think it was going to be that good.
I didn't think it would happen this quick. And same thing goes for Miller.
It's just wild.
When I'm not going to make a lot of people happy here. When I
You're in the
first
right
heard,
place then.
well, well, I don't know if I'm going to make anybody happy here on this panel when I say this. When I first heard that Stankoven was going to be slotted in at second center, I was scared because what I said was, look, I don't mind you trying, but I'm already going to tell you, you're setting him up to fail. You're going to have him take faceoffs against guys twice his size, and he's going to be moved off the puck like a dog moving off a gnat.
We are still, like, as Brandon and I famously will repeat until 2034, we are not convinced, not a bit, not convinced a bit.
I need to see a couple more cups, and that'll help.
But what he does remind me of, and this will make everyone else happy, this will make you happy, Griff. He reminds me of Doug Jarvis, way back machine. But he's a guy that he reminds me of a small center that makes it work. Not that I'm saying he'll make it work, but he does remind me of him.
Dude, you guys are wild, man.
I'll tell you what. If they beat Florida in the playoffs next year, I'll admit that Stankoven is a 2C.
They're going.
They don't even have to win the cup.
I think we beat Florida this year. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we would too.
Yeah, I do
too. Let's.
We'll table that conversation.
Don't worry, they'll get their chance to prove it.
I mean, let's also be honest. I mean, Florida are kind of slowly falling apart with all the rumors that I hear. I mean, there are just rumors, but there's no smoke without fire. And what I hear about AJ Greer asking for a payday, saying Florida, yeah, I mean, I want to stay, but you need to work out my contract because I'm not going to go for cheap. They're also
Bobrovsky asking for 6 years.
Yeah, he wants to go.
Who's going to be their goalie next year?
Tarasov right now.
Tarasov's going to be good, but he's not going to be good now.
Or it could be Jordan Binnington or Kyle Hellebuck, if you believe rumors that are going around.
Yeah,
the
guy they got in their system that isn't terribly bad, although he's untested, is Cooper Black. We saw him a little bit in the prospect showcase.
He's a couple of years out, though, at least.
He's probably at least another year or two before he starts seeing NHL games.
Yeah,
he's big. He's big, like 6'8". That kid is. But
well, it's just the only thing about it is, speaking of goaltending, let's consider this: the first time the Hurricanes don't run into a first ballot Hall of Famer, they win the cup. This is the first time that it's happened in the entirety of Brendan Moore's tenure as coach that they didn't run into Tuukka Rask or Sergei Bobrovsky or Ilya Shesterkin or Andrei Vasilevsky.
Who?
Yeah, pretty much at this point. This is the first time they didn't run into any first ballot.
Shesterkin.
Oh, my bad. Igor Shesterkin. I was thinking about Sorokin for some reason. I don't know why, because Sorokin was one guy they said that he was going to annihilate the Canes, and he ended up sitting in the tunnel.
We beat him 3 times.
See, the thing is, dude, the most scared I've ever been of a goalie change, though, or of a goalie going into the playoffs was actually in the first year they were there. When
Greiss went in,
when Thomas Greiss went in, I was like, because Thomas Greiss used to absolutely you think Hank had Carolina's number? Thomas Greiss had Carolina's number. It didn't make any sense. He would have the most mid-game ever, but then against Carolina, he would turn into a Vezina candidate. I never understood it.
Yep.
Allmark deserves a lot of credit for the show he gave. He was arguably one of the best goalies of this whole entire playoffs.
He was the best one Carolina played against.
That's true. I mean, like he gave a goaltending performance on the likes of Shesterkin or Vasilevsky, but we overcame it. That's one of the things that we had this year that we could not have done the previous years because of the dynamism that Ehlers provides up and down the lineup.
Yeah, you know what? Carter Hart was awful, and
he was not good.
I believe that if Bussy goes game 1 of that series, we could have
definitely. If he went game 3,
I believe we could have maybe not sweep, but 5. I think we could have taken him in 5.
That would have been great because I would have got to see it in person.
I mean, maybe we don't win game. I think we win game 1 if Bussy's in net.
You're probably right. I mean, I think we win game 3. I think if he started that game.
Yeah. Yes.
And honestly, that was the one where he probably should have because apparently Anderson was injured in game 2.
I mean,
apparently he messed up his knee or something.
I don't think it was just that. I think he was
concussed.
I think he was concussed too.
The head hit also probably impacted him there too, for sure.
I don't think Carter Hart was that bad. I just think they put too much pressure on him. I don't know what the heck John Tortorella has against Aiden Hill, but good God, dude, you cannot throw all that pressure on that one goaltender to try to save you from elimination. And I think that's what also got into Carter's head. And plus, with that and I think when he's got to deal with relentless waves, I'll steal this from PK Subban. I mean, when the Hurricanes roll lines on teams, I've often said this, it's literally like you're playing the same line over and over and over and over again.
And they just have different faces.
Yeah, they're always in your face, except you're looking at different faces every time. That's the only difference.
Yeah,
each one plays the same.
It's 12 Rod Vandermore's on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
I think Carter Hart let in at least one bad goal a game, if not two. I think in Game 6 alone, I think
two of those he should have had.
I think the first and second goal are soft goals.
I won't blame the third one because he wasn't there, but he was basically invisible the entire game anyway. So he had that one really lucky save on Svechnikov, and like I was telling Matthew P the other night,
that shot wasn't even on net, man.
It wasn't, because Svechnikov, from the angle he was at, knew that he had a better chance of banking that puck off of Hart and in. That's what he was trying to do. He damn near did it too. That's what he was trying to do. I really legitimately believe that's what he was trying to do.
And the Blake's goal deflected, so I don't put that, I put that on him. The Hall's goal in the beginning, the Hall's goal in the beginning, make a save, but at the same time, he's Taylor Hall. He's a first overall pick. He can beat a goalie with a clean look from the circle.
I think he was the third best goalie in the series.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
I won't argue with that.
He let in one less goal than Anderson did.
Man,
hey, real quick, I see J-Dub in the chat. What's up, J-Dub? He shouted me out, so I just want to say.
I don't know if he was the third best. I think him and Dan Vladar kind of.
No. I'm saying in the series.
In the series.
Bussy, Freddie, and Hart.
Oh, then in that case, absolutely, he's the third best goal. Absolutely, he's the third best goalie. I think in the whole entire playoff run, I think Dan Vladar had a good run. He was just overwhelmed.
It would have been a lot harder to beat Philadelphia if Vladar hadn't been hurt, because he was playing through a bunch of stuff. Like that guy's a warrior. I gotta give it to him.
And then the same thing with Dobesh. He was good for 3 games and then couldn't hold on.
Dobesh is only going to get better, though. He's good now, and he's going to be better. Dobesh is a good goalie.
How about Taylor Hall's interview on Chicklets?
Him and Martinook. Yeah, I saw that whole thing. And
my God, that one was.
Then
funny.
I saw Jacob Slavin preach the gospel to Paul Bizanet, which is hilarious.
The funniest thing was when he said, was it Merles, that he said, "Okay, no disrespect or anything, but you picked Philly."
Yeah, he said it again. He said it again.
I got to go back and watch that.
He said, if you, no one who watches hockey really can seriously pick Philly. And he said, I'm going to get in trouble for saying that. And he is. I've seen Flyers fans get mad or whatever. And I've been telling him, I was like, find the lie.
There's no
find the lie. Ask Derek. Anyone who's really honest, anyone who watches hockey.
Bro, that guy is one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the streams where I have Derek Dunn, the Flyers fan, on here. He used a term that I've been using ever since. I forget what it was, but he's like, yeah, the Hurricanes basically have the Justice League of penalty killers. I don't see why they need to go get another depth guy or something like that. And I'm like, he's right, considering it was 91% with Jordan Stahl on the ice and 87% with everyone else. So it's
third best all time in the playoffs.
And it's only like 2/10 of a point lower than the one all time, I think it was, or something like that, the all time leader in penalty kill.
Well,
that's why when the Hurricanes take penalties, I'm like, that's cute. Let Taylor Hall go out there and kill somebody. We'll kill it off. It's all good.
Well, Taylor Hall did. I don't know if he saved himself, but he tried to by saying, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but then I think he's.
That always follows something disrespectful. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Whenever someone says that.
That's true.
It's all good.
But it's true. But it also happens to be true.
And you know what? He can back it up. He was literally, his arm was sitting on top of the cup. So, you can kind of say whatever you want at that point.
And he and Martin, I love it. When he brought him on, he and Martin were like, hey, let's go get the mug. Let's get the mug and bring it out here.
Let's get the mug.
So that all 3 of those players who never won can all stare at us, hanging out with it. It's like.
But I will say that one of the coolest things is seeing Rod Brind'Amour get the praise he's deserved of, because he has been because he literally has been all over every single ounce of media you can think of. Literally, it's all Rod Brindamore.
I honestly
And well
believe he's
deserved.
going to get it. I honestly believe he's going to be announced for the Hall Monday.
On Monday we'll know. He better.
I feel better this year than I have in years past.
Yeah, see, the thing that annoys me about it, though, it's like, so the Hockey Hall of Fame doesn't allow you to combine criteria, and that kind of pisses me off, because it's like you either go in as a player, a coach, or a builder. And see, the thing is, if you ask me, he qualifies in all three of those, because the reason why players have such intense off-ice training and take care of themselves, because, Brindamore was not the most skilled player. Yeah, he had 1,000+ points. He was one of the best defensive centers that ever played. But that was attributed mostly to his fitness. Like, there was some God-given talent there. There was enough for him to make it to the league, but the big catalyst of him being the player he was the fact that they would cut the lights off on him when he was in the gym, and he still wouldn't leave. If he was doing that today, he would just turn the light on his iPhone and keep pumping the weights. So
that's 90% of that. That's 90% of the answer right there, though.
Yeah. So it's like, so in terms of like players practicing good nutrition and going to the gym and taking care of themselves off ice and not spending their time doing stupid stuff, he kind of set the pace for that. That wasn't a big thing when he was playing at first. So there's that. What he's done as a coach speaks for itself. 8 straight seasons in the playoffs, and now he's got a Stanley Cup. He won at least one round every time. And then what he did as a player, he captained a Cup team, back-to-back Selkies, and I think it was, 1,142 points, something like that. So, he absolutely earned his way into the Hall of Fame in all three ways. He's a living case that they should be allowed to combine criteria, because if let's say there's someone else who's an 800-point player and becomes a really good GM and wins a cup as a GM, they should be in the Hall of Fame. That's enough criteria right there. You've contributed enough to the game at that point.
Yeah, it's like, what have you done for the game? And
I just
that's what it should be overall. It should be everything that your contribution to hockey.
Yeah, but I was looking at the list of players, right? And the only lock I see is Patrice Bergeron. I don't see, and even in the
Kopitar?
Kopitar's not eligible yet.
He's not. Oh, they have to
he just retired this year.
Okay.
So the only lock I see is Patrice Bergeron, and other than the first, maybe Carey Price. But
Carey Price will go in.
Yeah, but I think he was eligible last year and didn't. So this will be his second year as eligible. But even, other than that's when the first year eligible. But other than, everybody else, if you look at the list, there's Brindamore and there's Keith Tkachuk. And those are the two. I think one of those two are going to get in, but not both. And I don't know. And I think Rod's resume is better.
It's much better.
Tkachuk doesn't have any hardware. Like, Rod's got a cup and 2 Selkies.
Yeah, he absolutely should. I mean, the only thing is that now I think Rod Francis is the chair of the selection committee now, not just on it, he's chairing it.
Yeah.
Well, now he gets to ruin the Penguins from his
advisory
that's
true.
role.
That's true.
Actually, it's not going to make a big difference.
That made me happy, actually, because let him go to a divisional rival and ruin them. That's fine.
Okay. You know what ruined that moment? Ruined that moment was I was sitting at work when that news came across my phone, and I had to suppress myself from falling out of my chair laughing. You, of all people you could have picked for an advisor, you picked that guy. Oh, have fun, Kyle Dubas. Have fun.
Good luck.
Yeah, those two in the same room is going to be pretty interesting.
Excellent.
Well, see, maybe that's all part of the plan, because they want Pittsburgh to be bad so that they can go ahead and start rebuilding, because they can't put it off anymore.
That's true.
This year they were supposed to tank for McKenna, and they didn't.
Well, they didn't. But I'm just saying, it's like, if you start winning, you're not going to just stop winning. It's just now you have to make the team bad enough to where they can't win very many games. So
I'd argue
how do you do that?
I'd argue that they probably would have if the lottery draft wasn't in place. Maybe. Not a for sure, but I think without the lottery draft, they may have gotten them.
Also, I will say this: Ben Kindle emerging.
That kid's good.
He is really good. Way better than I thought he was going to be, especially like being picked 12th and making an immediate impact is kind of ridiculous. So I have to give credit for that. They've
got a good player to build around there if they play their cards right.
He is incredibly good. So he also, helped make Pittsburgh a playoff team. So, but not a good one. as if even Philadelphia kind of exposes you, then what does that say about them?
It's not.
Well, I wonder what the next few years are going to say about Vegas, because they've spent a grand total of 17 draft picks just for this year to re-up to go for this cup. And
Colorado too. Colorado just flings their
Colorado
picks
was
away,
cooked for a little while.
They just chuck them at other teams. Golly, they gave up a first rounder.
I still can't believe Vegas gave up Zach Whitecloud when he's one of the best shutdown guys in the league. He's in the top 10.
Yeah, they traded Whitecloud for Rasmus Anderson and got worse.
And that dude was booty in the freaking.
He was brutal, man.
Him and Hamilton were just.
I think what I was
feasted on him.
I think the Colorado collapse was probably the most shocked I've ever been, because when everyone picked them to win the cup, I mean, I said if they win, I won't be shocked. And when they got Kadri back, I'm like, they're getting the band back together for one last hurrah. And when that collapsed like the Titanic hitting the iceberg, I go, that's it. That's probably goodbye. That's probably goodbye.
Well, the Titanic lasted longer than they did in Game 4.
I just think if McCarr wouldn't have missed that first, if McCarr would have been healthy and McKinnon wouldn't have been, McKinnon got banged up. I think who was it? Nichushkin that was hurt too.
Nichushkin also, they were in infirmary,
and Lekanen was hurt too.
Yeah, it was
injuries to all their key contributors ruined them.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Brandon mentioned it a couple days ago when they got scored on by Dylan Coghlan.
Yeah, I stopped taking them serious when that happened. I told y'all how I found out about that, right? Because I was sitting over there on that beanbag doing schoolwork, and I had my laptop in my lap, and I'm listening to the game. I'm passively watching it, and then the intermission report comes up, and PK Subban is breaking down Dylan Coghlan scoring a goal, and I'm like, who scored a goal in the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs? Who?
Jeez.
In the conference finals.
You got scored on by Dylan Coghlan? Yeah, y'all are done.
I'll say this. I never believed, I even told Katie this, I never believed in Scott Wedgwood.
I don't believe in Wedgwood or Blackwood.
Never believed in him. I thought Blackwood's better. And I still think Blackwood's a better goalie. But even then, I did not believe in their goaltending at all.
But Colorado, I mean, I'll add on yours, Matthew P, is the fact that they just kept rotating them. That's not a sustainable way to manage your goaltending. You just can't keep rotating him.
Well, they kept, didn't they? I thought they basically kept with Wedgwood until, I guess, they put Blackwood. Did they put Blackwood in against Minnesota?
I think so.
I don't remember. I
can't remember either. But I know that it was Blackwood started Game 4, played way better than Wedgwood did. Actually gave him a chance.
Yeah.
But it was way too little, too late there.
What I was going to say about McCarr and Griff, I mean, I definitely agree. Those first two games without Kale, Colorado looked absolutely lost, which I was shocked. I mean, look, if your whole everything depends on Kale, y'all are freaking cooked.
I mean, he's a freaking unicorn. I mean,
yeah. Well, this next thing is what also made me shocked that they brought him back. When they described after they got eliminated, they're talking about locker room. They're talking about locker room clean out with Denver Sports. They said was described to me as he had to get a special molded shoulder brace to quote unquote keep some of the pieces together.
Oh dear.
Oh my God. You brought him back with basically a dislocated everything in his shoulder, risking probably his long-term career just to bring him back for everybody. Y'all are nuts.
So that was a full-on. That was probably that's what I suspected. I suspected it was work because when I saw the hit and I saw him go gimp, I was like, that's not just a separated shoulder, that's a dislocation.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know you can put it back, but a dislocated, an unstable joint is an unstable joint. I mean, like it's not like a separated shoulder is bad, but you can kind of play with it. But dislocation, it's like you can't, because even when you put it back, it's inherently unstable.
And it also depends on it depends on what your role is too. Because okay, so if Jacob Slavin, let's say his left shoulder is in that type of situation, he can still play most of his game. Because honestly, if there's one guy who can play the game with one arm and still be effective, it's Jacob Slavin.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Cale McCarr needs two hands for how he plays. And if he doesn't have those, he's half as effective of a player. And that's not a knock on him, because he's better at hockey when he's, halfway dead than 99.9% of the people who have ever walked the planet. But if you take Cale McCarr's ability to shoot the puck and pass the puck away from him, you effectively eliminate Cale McCarr.
Agreed. And I mean, when I saw Val and Arturi's, the fact that people came out, they were more hurt than everyone thought. And now you've lost Chris McFarland to Nashville, and you're got to rely on Joe Sakic. Things are not looking too up in the Mile High Stadium right now.
They're going to decline. They might decline fast. I mean, well, with a healthy Cale McCarr and Nathan McKinnon, they'll always probably be a playoff team. But they have no future. They've given away all of their prospects and picks. They have nothing.
They've done it twice now.
They tried to get a little bit of it back with the trade. They trade. Forget who they get some draft cap. Oh yeah, it was Colton. They traded Russ Colton for first and third rounders or something. But it's like they got a long way to go to get any kind of semblance of a prospect farm system going again. They have.
So who's going to the parade tomorrow?
I can't make it. I got to work.
I'm going.
I'll be there.
Apparently not. I was planning on getting there. I thought 9:00 would be early enough. Apparently not. Apparently people
go get you an egg McMuffin and get out there.
I gotta get there earlier.
I'm gonna leave Wilmington at 6.
Then you'll get there at around 9:00. Apparently that may not be soon enough.
I'm not. Well, then fine. So be it. I'm not leaving before 6.
That's fair.
I wish I could go, but I'll say this because I am confident in this. I'll go next year. I am confident in. I seriously am. I'm very confident in this team now, because everything that the thing about it is I expected to see this team, but as I've stated with all of you on many occasions, I expected to see this team, but I didn't expect to see it until 365 days.
I got to go for just a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
All right, brother.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I expected to see this team in a year, because I expected the players that you have, primarily your younger guys that you just acquired.
I can't hear you, man.
Who, me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. For some reason, I can't.
What about now?
I don't know what the heck just happened.
How about now?
I hear dog barking.
Yeah, that ain't mine.
Pull him off the stage and put him back in.
Yeah. How about now?
No.
What the hell?
No.
Yeah, I can hear everyone too, but
yeah. Hey,
let me try some here.
His earbuds might have died on him.
Could be.
How about now?
You sound like a chipmunk.
But yeah, so this, I expected to see this team. I just didn't. Do I still sound like a chipmunk?
Not to me. Everything sounds normal to me. I don't know what's going on with him.
All right, well, I guess I'm just gonna sound like a chipmunk then.
But he might have to back out and come back in.
Yeah, actually, hey, try that for me, please. Back out and rejoin with the link I gave you and see if that works. I guess he doesn't hear me anymore.
I have. Let me try to hop out then hop back in. Let me see if that works.
That'll work. But yeah, I mean, I expected to see this team. I was just expecting it to be next year that Stankoven, Blake, Miller, and Nikishin, more so the first three, take the steps that they took this year. So
yeah,
it's ahead of schedule. I absolutely expected to. How about now?
Success.
There we
Okay,
go.
good. Yeah, I expected to see this team, but I just didn't expect to see it this early. So, and you got the probability or the possibility of adding another significant player with all the cap space that they have and everything like that. So, I'm kind of like, that's where I'm at with it. I'm kind of like, this team has an above average chance of repeating. That's as good as it gets. There's no definitive way to say that they will or won't. Above average is as good as it gets for a chance at repeating, but I think that they have as good of a chance at repeating as you can get, especially if Jarvis goes and gets his shoulder taken care of and Slavin goes and gets everything taken care of that he needs to get taken care of, then everything will be good.
I think
They're not going to give
depends on-
Jarvis a choice. He's got to have that thing repaired.
Well, and there's no reason not to, because you can finally give Nadeau an extended look. You need to see what you have with him.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't honestly believe. I don't think Nadeau is ever going to play with the Hurricanes. I think he's going to wind up in a trade. I honestly believe. I don't think we'll ever see him as a full-time regular. I could be wrong, but I don't know where he's going. Who's going to come out of the lineup?
Seth Jarvis, because he's going to get surgery.
I'm not
Unless
convinced
you think that's not going to happen.
I just don't believe that. I know there's this this belief out there that Seth Jarvis has a banged up shoulder, and I know he had at one point. I don't know if I don't know that it's really bothered him. Like I didn't see it. It's not like, look, that dude took some hits, man. He was in the boards regularly. I'm not a believer that he's got a banged up shoulder. I think he's fine. And
I don't agree.
That's fine.
I'm more along the lines of I'm better safe than sorry, and that guy's one of the most valuable pieces that you have. So if he needs to get it checked out, then he needs to go get it checked out. And
Adam Gold is as close to the organization as anybody in the media, and the guy talks to Rod every day almost, and I just don't believe. He has the same opinion. He doesn't think anything's wrong with Jarvis' shoulder either. But I don't know. Maybe there is. I just don't believe. I don't know who's going to come out of the lineup for Nadeau to play on this team. Next season, maybe 2-3 years down the road. But I really look for Nadeau to be traded.
I've kind of warmed up to Adam Gold, like probably in the last few months. Before that, he really annoyed me because
it's not look on your face.
Yeah, it's. You're like, I understand. He's more connected to the teams than probably anyone in local media because of how long he's been covering them. But what annoys me is, I think you talked about this too, Brandon. You were talking about this with one of the Sound the Siren guys. I think his name was Chris. The problem
Darren.
I've had. Say what?
Darren, yeah.
Darren, yeah.
Yeah.
What I've been annoyed by with media up until then was, listen, I'm not on the fire Rod Brindamore train, but that doesn't mean he can't be criticized a tad. And Adam Gold goes out of his way to the nth degree, almost sometimes, I don't want to say insult fans, but close enough.
Rightfully so, though. Jeez.
Rightfully so. I was never fully on the fire Rod Brindamore train. But I'm not going to say that I don't think it was fair to criticize him either.
All I'm saying is, look, whatever your opinion is on the guy, that's not what I'm saying. All I know is, this guy is in a radio booth with Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy, for the entire playoffs. And those guys literally ride on the plane with the team, right?
Yeah.
So I just believe that if there's something wrong or, I feel like he's in the know.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he has, he has conversations with, people that, they're just around the team. They're locked in the same hotel rooms, or not. Well, we're not rooms, but not anymore anyway.
God, I hope not.
What's that? What's that?
You want to rephrase that there, Griff?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's a little too intimate for probably Rod's taste, but okay.
Well, if you remember a former ringside reporter. Anyway.
You're going there, Griff.
So did Ian Cole.
Jokes about that.
Woo, boy.
Sorry about that.
I mean, I know they've got access.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I just think that if I just think that he would be in the know.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I mean, I absolutely. I mean, I would say out of all the people in North Carolina, especially in Raleigh broadcasting, he's more connected than anybody. And I'm definitely not going to take that away from him. It's just I had one little – I remember on his Kane's Corner, he took one of my things, and I forget what I said, but he absolutely misinterpreted it and just bashed me for no reason. And I'm like,
Yeah,
Adam, that's not even remotely what I was trying to say.
Yeah, that my statement was nothing to do about the guy. I was just saying that I think he's just because he's around people. But
I mean, personal issues aside, or beefs or whatever. I mean, like I've had my disagreements with Adam Golden with the state-run media.
Right.
But hey, we're champions. I'm willing to put all those beefs aside. We're all fans now. But what I will say though, still regarding Jarvis, I mean, I guess if the team feels that he doesn't need surgery and Jarvis is fine with it, I mean, fair enough. But you tell me if I'm wrong, Brandon, but I thought you and I were seeing it too, that he spent now maybe in the Cup Finals he actually pulled off a few moves that look definitely like prime vintage Jarvis. But especially early on, he did not look comfortable. He looked
his shooting in particular looked off to me.
Looked off.
Yeah, just because
he rolls his wrists.
He rolls his wrists a lot when he leans into those wrist shots, and he wasn't really rotating his wrists and his forearms the way that he normally does. That's what led me to believe that.
I mean, he matched his goal. He matched his career goal total this year, right? 30 was it 33?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, but this is about the time where I would expect a kind of like the rotator cuff issue to be a problem. Especially when it's more intense. And I could also tell, I definitely could tell that opponents were targeting him and targeting his shoulder.
But he didn't miss any time. He missed what? Like maybe a few games?
Yeah, I mean, no, this like during the playoffs, especially I think Philadelphia more than anything else. They were trying to hit his shoulder.
Yeah,
they were there saying, how is it? They were testing his shoulder. And
maybe he does. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I'm just I was just using, I was just saying the point about Bradley Nadeau. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like he is. If we trade him, Griff, we're going to regret it because he is a 40 goal scorer in the NHL. He scored last night, by the way, in a do or die game for the Wolves. He's actually been one of the few players that showed up in the series, and actually they're playing right now. I wonder how they're doing.
I personally agree with Griff on this one. Because this is where I've always said with Bradley Nadeau, if they believe in him so much, why haven't they created a spot for him in the past couple of years?
Especially Brind'Amour doesn't create spots for rookies.
Slots open.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, it's kind of similar to when Seth Jarvis got an extended look. Nino Niederreiter was hurt for a long time. So Rod is not one, and most coaches aren't, to be fair. Rod is not one to supplant known quantities out of the lineup for a prospect. And that's fine. That's a good thing. And most coaches don't. They might in select cases, but most of them do not. So the thing about it is, it's like if you want to put Bradley Nadeau in the lineup, Jarvis, Blake, or someone like that has to come out, and you can't do that because they're all known quantities. You know what you're going to get out of them. They've proven themselves at that level. If Nadeau was on a lot of other teams, he would have already been an NHL regular. The thing is, it's just there's no room for him, and it's not a knock on him. It's just the reality of the situation is he's on a team that is completely stacked in right-handed wingers, regardless of what side of the ice they play on. So I don't know what's going to happen with the whole Jarvis thing. I believe that there is something going on with the shoulder there. That being said, last offseason, he said he did a lot of work on it, and it looked like it didn't bother him for a long time. And that's between playing regular season playoffs and he played in the Olympics. So he's got a lot of mileage on him. So that is ultimately what he and the organization decide to do. I just know that my dad finally got his rotator cuff fixed, and his was messed up before I was even born. And the VA finally fixed it over the summer. And then my dad's not an NHL player. So he's not.
Candy probably helped.
Yeah, he used the Nerds gummy clusters to keep it together.
If there's any kind of structural issue with his shoulder at all, this is the time to get it. So I mean, even if he could do it again, where push it off and still play and be competent, I would rather him get the surgery. So that then we can actually finally see what we've got with Nadeau, and we just won a cup, and the team will be able to be fine until he gets back, until he rehabs it, and if he's out until December, I'm okay with this.
Well, if he needs it, he's going to get it now. Like, I don't think now's
the time. If there is any structural issue that needs to be repaired, now's the time.
Yeah, I mean, they're also going to have to wait a couple of weeks after the cup celebration is over so that he can detoxify himself from the copious amounts of Nerds slushies he's gotten from Sonic and dumped a bunch of Sailor Jerry into. So
now, what we did get more information on, though, what kept Slavin out, because he talked about it on Spit and Chicklets, and he said his knee was actually a stress fracture.
Yeah.
And so
that's hard to play through.
And that's what kept him out for so long. And then then after he came back, he injured his shoulder and he was out for another couple of weeks. But that, however, that shouldn't need like it's not like a ligament or a tendon or something like that.
I'm happy about that.
He should be good to go next year. I thought he might have needed it, but yeah.
See, what I was worried about with Slavin was I was afraid that maybe he had. Okay, you guys know how I thought that I had something worse than a patella subluxation, how I thought I had a meniscus tear and I was going to have an endoscopic surgery or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was afraid it was something like that with Slavin. But if you're telling me it's just a stress fracture, that's much better news.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think he's healthy. I think Slavin is healthy enough to start neast season.
Good.
The only thing bad about a stress fracture is the only way to heal is time. Like there's no I mean, that's with anything really, but at least like if it's something where you can go in and operate on and fix it, it's fixed, and then you just let it heal and then you're rolling. But like I've had these stress fractures back in my military days, and like you think it's good, and then you go out and you act normal again, and then it's you get it all over again.
That's the problem, though. The NHL doesn't give you that time. I mean, you got 4 months of off season, then you got to get right back into it.
You got more like 2 when you win the cup.
Wolves score is 2-2. Somebody said in the comment.
Damn, they had a 2-0 lead. Golly.
But yeah, I mean, to kind of bounce off of what you said, Griff. It's just the NHL just doesn't give you that time. I mean, after like a grueling Stanley Cup playoffs, all the way to the Stanley Cup final. I mean, you are, not to say you're pretty much a broken individual, and you're only given 4 months to heal what you can to get right back in the swing of it. I mean, they said it best on like the face-off Amazon thing. You're basically coming back 80 to 90% as healed as you can be, and then you got to get right back into the conveyor belt of 80.
Well, they only got 2 months this time, a little over 2 months, because I mean, like the regular season starts September 26th or 28th.
Yeah, they're starting a little bit earlier this year since they added.
And then you back that up 2 weeks for preseason, and then so you're starting camp at like the beginning of September.
And they say, going back to Cale Makar, he may not even make camp.
Yeah, well, real quick, did you guys see? I don't know who leaked this, but did you see we're opening this season at home against Florida, and that's going to be.
I did not.
That's going to be That's going to be ring day, the Banner Day. So
I'm going. I am going to Banner Day.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to keep me from opening night.
It's going to be against Florida.
I will be there.
I think Walt Ruff put that out.
Really? I got to see this.
Or no, maybe it wasn't Walt Ruff. Maybe it was like Bucci, or it was some national media. It might have been. But whoever it was a legitimate, legitimate account. It wasn't a Franck or anything.
Another 9-1 win incoming.
Oh yeah.
That would be a great way to start the season off. It really would. I want them in the playoffs. God, I want them.
I do too.
Oh, even if they make it, they're toast.
But hey, I got to bounce out of here. I just want to say before I roll, just really like reflecting on the year. Like you said, Brandon, you thought this was like a year early, but I mean, the sign, like now that you look back on the season, like the signs were kind of there all year. And I didn't really realize it now, like you said, hindsight's 20/20 and you see it now, but what a year, man. As I just like, there's so many things that you can kind of talk about, and like they've talked about all playoffs. Like this team hasn't lost back-to-back games since January 1st and 3rd, and just little things. I know we blew some leads back in November, December. There was like a rough stretch there, but just the fact that they dealt with injury all to start the season, slaving out. Everybody, like the defense was decimated, just player after player, and call up after call up, and just the way that they were still able to just keep winning. Freddie struggled the whole year. Kochetkov's out with surgery. Bussy is a waiver claim, and he comes in and saves the freaking season, man. And everything just
twice.
Yeah, 100%. And the signs were there. Like the adversity that they went through in the beginning of the year is really what helped carry them through the season and then into the playoffs. And man, look, once the playoffs started, and that's inside that locker room, you always hear the cliche, like, we have no doubt, like we knew in this room that we were, but they did, man, 100%. They just blew through the freaking field like it was nothing. All the way. And yeah, they had a rough start to the Vegas series, man, but as soon as they figured it out, and Bussy comes in and shores up the back end, dude, there was just no freaking question. No question. Every time they got down in the series, they came back. And if it wasn't for a crazy freaking bounce off the board, this is a gentleman's sweep.
Yep.
And look, man, I'm just so freaking proud. Like I love the fact that the media is giving the Canes their roses. I love the fact that the freaking Eastern Conference Final curse talk is done. All the crap about being boring and Rod system and blah blah blah. It's all gone. Like it's freaking gone, man. And it feels so good, because now when all these freaking trolls on Twitter want to come at you about your team, look, we've got the ultimate comeback like Florida has had forever, Tampa has had. We got that shit now, and it feels freaking amazing. There's no more defending the team. It's not hard to defend the team anymore. It's great. So like I'm proud of this team. I'm proud I'm proud to be a Canes fan. Like, and as hard as it's been to be a Carolina freaking sports fan over the course of my life, like right now, look, I was in the building when the Panthers almost beat the Rams in the wild card game last year. Freaking Canes win the cup, man. It's just like it's trending up, and I just wanted to kind of say that before I bounce out of here. But I'm proud of these freaking dudes, man, and like I'm proud the fan base, dude. Like how we showed up at the watch parties all over freaking the state, man. I know Raleigh got shown a lot on TV, but there was watch parties in Wilmington. There was watch parties in Charlotte, Asheville, down into Charleston, and just all over the Carolinas, man. And this fan base showed out on the world stage. The team showed out, and I am just freaking proud of this whole organization and the whole fan base.
Can I get an amen?
I'm going to start.
Amen.
Speaking of Charleston, I'm going to start having some watch parties down here. I just got to find what venue I'm going to have them at. But I'm thinking during the regular season, like every Saturday road game, I'm going to like do a watch party for that. Unless it's like they're on the West Coast, I'm not dealing with that. But I mean, it's bad enough trying to make content during the West Coast swing because I have 5 people in here watching, and they're all Canes fans that live on the West Coast. So,
right on. All right, guys. Well, hey, Brandon, thanks for letting me, having me in. I'm still, there's still maybe a little bit of, maybe we'll have to get the band back together here at some point and have to bring back the old Caniac sessions here.
Bro, you say the word. We already talked about it. I'll change all the stuff back. I just didn't want it sitting there doing nothing, and I can move all that back over here. That's not a problem.
Thought. It's a thought. We're still thinking about it, but we might have to get it going again. I don't know.
If you guys want to do it for free agency day, like make that be the comeback, and then I can take a break because like I have been absolutely swamped with work, school, and this. I'm ready to chill out.
Well, we don't want to let everybody know, just about anything just yet. We'll
okay.
See.
Well, I'm just saying, you tell me, and we'll get it going.
We'll see. We'll put some feelers out there and see if everybody wants to see it come back or not.
I think they do. I think they're looking for an alternative to me. They're tired of me. I don't blame them.
No,
You know,
no.
it's kind of like going back real quick to the thing that
No.
Matty B was saying about Adam Gold. I've got no room to talk. I'm an inflammatory person myself. I understand I piss people off. That's why I don't get mad when people come at me, because I'm like, okay, I probably deserve that. I've got the personality of a cinder block. I understand that.
Well, at least the cinder block weighs the same amount as the Stanley Cup. So
That's
there
true.
you go. Got him. All right, guys. It's been real. Enjoy the rest of the stream. I got to go get the kids ready, and so we can get out of here at 6 a.m. and head up to Raleigh. So,
all righty.
Maybe I'll see you there.
yeah, I'll be down the south end of Fayetteville Street. So,
I may not see anybody. I'll probably be at the junction between St. Mary's and Hillsborough, so I'll be right at the start.
right on.
I'm
All right,
trying to
boys.
decide if I want to get sick between now and midnight so that I don't go to work tomorrow and just go to the parade. I haven't decided yet. Oh no, I've got a virus that didn't come from the lab in China.
Achoo.
Ni hao. Achoo. Oh no, what's that?
Oh, man, that's funny.
All right, boys. We'll see y'all
All right, see you, man. Have a good one.
later.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I kind of want to just echo everything that Griff said there and kind of go through maybe the actual run in the games a little bit, because especially like I want to start actually with the final, because when the Canes were down 2-0 in the third in game 2, that was when it looked like it was all collapsing. And that, in retrospect, like what Griff said, like we dominated everything, carved through them, 16-3, swatted them all aside. Man, when they were down 2-0 with 10 minutes to go, that was when by far the cause was most in doubt, and it looked bad. I was extremely pessimistic at that point and angry.
That was
and
quick.
then well, you came in right when I was kind of recapping the darkest moment, which is when the Canes were down 2-0 in game 2. But then who saved the season right there and saved the team and saved the run was our favorite second line center, who went and just shoved Rasmus Anderson aside, even though he's probably like weighs twice as much as him, and just pulled it up. I thought about the Michigan for a second, and then just decided to stuff it in, and it went in off. Was it Lazan or Anderson? It went in off of them, and it just said, "I'm going to do this myself," and he got us on the board and got the life in the building back. And then our favorite Chinaman, a couple minutes later, ties the game.
I don't understand that guy.
And
this much room to slip a puck in, he can do it. Wide open soccer net, and it lands in frickin' Winston-Salem. I don't get it.
Who are we referring to right here? Sorry,
this is our favorite Chinaman,
Jankowski.
Our favorite Chinese.
It's like if he'd been playing in the World Cup, he still would have missed the net. Like he just Megan Rapinoe the shit out of it. And I was just like, bro, come on. Like you wonder why I have to keep saying bad things about you. If I start saying good things about you, you do things like this. I'll be right back.
Man,
but that particular
really
night,
love right now.
But
Matt,
I was going to say that particular night.
Yeah,
he comes in.
That's fair.
Carrier.
Where'd you get that hat?
I got it from Carolina Pro Shop.
Already?
I ordered a print.
Oh, did you go in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I ordered
no, dude. Your best bet to get stuff right now is just go to Pro Shop or Dick's Sporting Goods. You do not want to wait until July.
Yeah, I ordered a print that'll take until July to get here, but it's going to go up right there of the photo of them surrounding the cup.
The Doomsday thing, I wasn't worried in game 2. I was more worried in game 3. When they went down 4-0, I was like, okay, that's the one that's going to probably break them, because it looked like nothing was working. And then it's just, if someone was going to make them crap the bed in their brain, it was going to be that game. Honestly, I said to myself, just make the cup final and then I'll be happy. finally get over this hump, and then I'll be happy. Whatever happens next is in the hands of the Lord above or the hockey gods and fate.
Well, that's how I was coping. That was my cope when they were down 2-0 with 10 minutes to go. That was my cope. I was like, well, at least they got here. At least they got through the ECF. At least they got to the finals.
Yeah.
I guess they're going to have to lose in the finals before they learn how to win. That was how I was coping with the whole thing. But Logan Sigmund says, "Nah, I'm here, and we're going to win this now." And he just took it and freaking shoved it into the net. He willed it into the net.
Honestly, game 2. I don't know. I thought that game 2 was the worst. I agree with you. I think game 2 was the worst game we played all series. I think game 2 was a flash in the pan where we had 10 good minutes, and that bailed us out. Game 3, I felt great after game 3, and I'm sure Matt, top right Matt knows this because I've said this a whole bunch, but I really felt like the golden move, the Stanley Cup winning move, was making that goaltender change because everything changed.
Yep.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was our worst game. I think if you want to talk about bad games, the first game of the Eastern Conference Final couldn't get any worse.
No, I meant of the finals. Nothing. Actually, and even that conference finals game 1 was not that bad of a game. We just had a historically awful first 10 minutes. I mean, we were even with Montreal for 50 minutes of that game. We just got our doors blown off in the first 10.
Likewise, I think in game 3, that was everything about that game was good except for like 6.5 minutes. And I think it definitely was. Obviously, Freddie was playing with an injury, and then I think the hit that he got, where I think Barbashev, the head hit there, that definitely affected him. And so that kind of ended up costing us that game, even though they came back. But yeah, you're right. It's Carter, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Good to see you again, man. So that making the goaltending switch there also because they and I mentioned this 2 days ago. Vegas did not adjust to Bussy. They did not adjust to him at all. He threw them off completely.
Well, if you want to believe Mitch Marner, he didn't even know they switched until he was doing the penalty shot.
The fact that sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm watching the truck series race, and I'm pretty sure Jamie McMurray is running a race today, and his truck just got totaled.
Does he remember how to drive? He's old.
Well, apparently not, because his truck is totaled.
Yeah,
exactly. Does he remember how to drive?
Oh, yeah. He just blasted the inside wall. Ouch.
They're in San Diego this week, right?
Yeah, they're on
Coronado.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. They were in North Island, but yeah, I'm glad they didn't decide to do it on the carrier because that would have been the shortest short track in the history of short tracks. It would have been kind of entertaining. It's kind of like, where do you turn left? Good luck.
Well,
yeah.
Bear this in mind. At least they've been the first to do something.
That
yeah.
I don't know if you could fit 36 cup cars on an aircraft carrier.
Well, you can. They just can't move.
We just won't be able to move. Yeah.
In dirt racing, just do elimination qualifiers. Do 10 cars, and then it's just.
Oh, have them do heats. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
I that's one of the things I actually love about like wing sprints and stuff like that. They do the heat racing. I love that. That's one of my favorite things about it. I missed out. I was going to go to a race up in Pennsylvania, and it got rained out. One of the sprint car races. It was World of Outlaws. I really wanted to go to that because it was going to be fun. But yeah. So back to whatever it was we were discussing before, because before I'm sitting here thinking about when was the last time I watched Jamie McMurray drive anything other than rewatching Talladega Nights when he got beat by Will Ferrell going backwards. See, like I can only enjoy stuff like that so much because I'm kind of like, you can't drive that car that fast in the lowest gear. Okay, whatever. The most triggering moment I've ever had in a movie, though, Iron Eagle, when he fires the AGM-65 sitting on the freaking ground. You can't do that. It's literally impossible because there's a pressure sensor in the nose gear to keep you from accidentally shooting missiles on the ground for obvious reasons. But he just shoots a missile on the ground. And then not to mention, when he shot that missile, if he were able to do that, if he were able to shoot that on the ground, the F-16 would have ended up like this all the way over here from the blast back of the missile coming off of the fucking jet.
All right. So
And-
But it looks
what was-
cool, Brandon.
what
But
was
it
the,
looks
what-
cool.
What was the conversation
What's up?
topic when I came in here? Because I didn't get to listen in on any of this. As soon as
we
I
were
got
talking
in, I was
about.
in.
I think we were talking about game.
Oh well, right
game
before
2 or 3. Mark Jankowski's shot.
right
that
before
he
Griff
missed.
left, he was talking about like
That he missed.
no, that was the one he scored on. The
Yeah, he
the
scored
empty
in
net
game
was
2.
the one the one in Philadelphia in game 4 where he had more net than anybody could imagine, and he sent it 7 feet high. And I'm just kind of like, this is why I talk about sending him to China, is because he does stuff like this.
So I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this because we're Cup champions now. Will I see any of you guys at the parade tomorrow?
Oh yeah,
I can't make it,
I'll be there.
unfortunately.
I'm
I'll
going.
be there. I'll be
Okay.
there, but I'll be at Hillsborough. I'll be at the intersection between St. Mary's and Hillsborough Street.
I'm gonna
'Cause
try.
I can't be there long. I got to go to my niece's graduation party. She just graduated from high school and is going to ECU.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Great. I
My
got-
alumni, purple,
Yeah. With
purple.
with an NC State
No,
family,
you're not
that's gonna be
you're not
have
getting
to
that,
be
dude.
something to get used to.
Hey,
Charlotte
my brother,
49ers.
my brother went to NC State. I like it. If I'm going to root for a triangle team, it's definitely going to be State.
Mhm.
But I went to ECU. So
Yeah,
Ugh,
and plus she's trying to get her
ECU.
nursing degree too. So I believe that's what she's doing. So
yeah, they got a good.
But,
nursing school.
Well, I'm a peasant. I go to community college.
So I want to know y'all's opinions on that. I know Brandon, we've talked about this. Who all from this Hurricanes Stanley Cup champions team is going in for off-season surgery? Who will not be on the opening night roster to start the 2026-27 season?
but the guy happened to be wearing 24.
No, this is
I'm
plural.
still
Like,
thinking
this is-
Jarvis will not be.
I don't.
Yeah,
I think there's in my mind there's two definitive ones, and then there's arguments that can be made for others. I think Jarvis and Slavin need to fix whatever's wrong.
It's we this actually came up a little bit before you got here, Carter. So Griff was here and he was saying that he doesn't think anyone needs surgery. I still think Jarvis. I do think there's some structural issue there that needs to be fixed, and now's the time to fix it.
Yeah,
But
of course.
whether it happens or not, I can't be for certain. But
And-
Slavin, he
Yeah.
actually mentioned on his. I don't know if you saw it. Is it when he went to Spit and Chickless and actually preached the gospel to them? It was hilarious. To Paul Bizanet and Ryan Whitney and Keith Yandel. It was the funniest thing. But he also mentioned that his knee injury, actually, it wasn't like a meniscus tear or anything like that. It was a stress fracture.
Huh.
And so,
And you
yeah,
can't do
so that's
anything
what
surgically about that.
it does not
Oh.
require surgery. It just requires time. And so that I don't think, unless there's something else going on, that's not something that would need corrective surgery. So I think
Yeah,
Slavin,
but even
assuming that he's had enough
how
time,
much-
he'll be good to go on opening night.
so he played on it for a long time because that happened at the beginning of the season. Is there a chance? I mean, we got to think about it this way. So I don't know the specifics of Joel Nystrom's contract. I believe Jack told me it was a 2-way contract, which means he can play for Chicago next year, which would make sense with the AAV that they gave him.
Mhm.
But
It's an
if that is
ELC.
not- it's no, Nystrom's can't be an ELC.
Are you sure?
No, it was an extension. Nystrom, I don't think
was-
Nystrom signed a contract during this past season, but he could not have played for us if it was an ELC. I mean, you have to sign that just to
Really?
play. So Nystrom got some sort of extension. I don't know what it is, if it's 1-way or 2-way. I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind at the beginning of the season letting some of these Chicago Wolves players start. I think Nadeau is a must. I think if you're not going to start Nadeau, if your plan is not to have Nadeau be part of the team next year at the start of the season, you ship him off with KK to go find someone else. Because-
Okay, who
I
are you
thought-
gonna find?
well, I don't know, but if Nadeau is not part of your plan for the future, then you get rid of him now while his stock is at an all-time high.
Because
Let's go into this because it's coming up on our chats. On our
Nystrom's
group chat
contract
here,
is a
Brandon,
one-way.
but
Is it a 1-way?
I
Okay,
thought,
so
it,
then
I thought it was a one
It's a
way.
one-way deal.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Nystrom's gonna have to be the 7th man next year.
And though what I'm hearing, or at least what some speculation is going on, I don't believe this personally. But Well, some people are trying to do, and I do not want to do this, but it's coming up, is that they're trying to get us to go after Connor Hellebuck and trade KK and Nadeau and maybe maybe some picks for Connor Hellebuck.
I
don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, but
I don't know who's saying that, but I don't think there's any. There's no validity to that. The only like credible sources I've seen in terms of us going after someone was for Elias Pettersson, but we've been hearing that for like 3.5 years now.
All right,
I believe it when I see it.
All right.
There's no. Why would they go after Hellebuck when? I mean, you got to think of it this way. This team is built, and the metric of success for the Hurricanes right now is what you do in the playoffs. You've got Brandon Bussey, who just, off of a very small sample size, albeit, kicked Vegas' tails in the Cup final. Why would you go out and get a guy who is going to cost $10 million a year, who has not made it out of the second round? And it's not like Hellebuck was good and the rest of the team was bad. Like, he's actively at fault for that. The only good stretch of play he's had against elite competition was the Olympics.
How old is he again?
And that was
30. He's 33.
Okay, look,
He's
here's
30.
the thing.
He was older than
If you're gonna put a package like that together to try and get a goalie, you got add a little bit more to it and try to get Jesper Wallstedt. If you're really gonna go that route, get someone younger with a higher.
I don't disagree with that.
You don't.
If you do that. I'm not saying that you do. I'm just saying if you are going to pursue a goalie, you have better options than pursuing 33-year-old Connor Hellebuck.
Our goalie tandem is set. I tell you what I think.
I agree.
I think if we are going to address something, Tulski's obviously trying to keep us as competitive for as long as possible. The area that we need to look at is defense. I know our defensemen now are great, but our goalies are like 26 and 27. Our forward core outside of like the Stahl-Martin group is like 32 or younger. All of our defensive core outside of Keandre Miller and Alexander Nikishin are at or above 30. And the way that Rod makes our defensemen play, their wheels are going to fall off faster. I think we already saw that a little bit with Jalen Chatfield. I think Chatfield lost a step compared to last year. Granted, he was playing significantly more minutes. Mm-hmm. But I do think, I think he's lost a step. Who knows how long Sean Walker will be at the level of Shane Gostisbehere? How old is he? Like 32?
33.
Gostisbehere is in his 30s, yeah. So I think, I don't think we need to do anything in free agency. That I don't think. But I do think our defense will improve. I think we have in-house promotions to make. I think Legault and Nystrom are sufficient there to carry us through next season as needed. I think we can let Mike Riley walk. I think we're letting Riley walk. I almost guarantee that. And
we have to.
We'll be fine with Legault and Nystrom as depth defense. They're both fantastic. I think they could. You can make the argument that they're both better than Chatfield right now.
I think there's a potential we see Chatfield as part of it. I really think that they're for some reason, and I don't understand this, but they really, really, really like Elias Pettersson. I feel like there's a chance that, oh God, I don't want to send Chatfield back to Vancouver. That would be
that would suck for him. That would really suck for him.
So bad for him. But I feel like there's a significant chance if they're really that high on Joel Nystrom that KK, one of Sean Walker or Jalen Chatfield, and maybe like a first-round pick are headed to Vancouver.
See, I would
be incredibly reluctant to trade Sean Walker with how well he's playing with Keandre.
Hey man, I was just about to say.
Yeah, we're not trading Walker. If anything, like I would just say, if they could have Legault or Nystrom in a package with KK, if we're going to do something like that,
they can have Jankowski.
That's not a
God, your hate for Jankowski.
I don't actually hate him. It's a gimmick.
That's the bit. That's the thing. It's the thing. You got to get into the program here.
I know. I'm trying. It's just it always throws me off when he just throws Jankowski under the bus. It just makes me laugh.
So here's another.
That's our thing here. You just got to.
Here's another thought I have. So now that we've confirmed that Nystrom's contract is one way, I feel like it's not smart organizationally to have Nystrom as your seventh defenseman because he's young. Like, you're trying to get growth and development out of him. If he only plays like 30 games as a spot starter, he's better off just staying in Chicago. But his contract is one way, so you can't. You could put him on waivers, but Joel
Yeah,
Niestrom's
he'd
not
get
clearing waivers at one
He'd get
point whatever
claimed, yeah.
million.
He'd get claimed. I mean,
He would.
it would be stupid for someone not to claim him if we put him on
He'd get
waivers.
claimed early too. I mean, like
All right.
the bottom three, a bottom three team would claim Nystrom.
That's bad
So-
asset management if it went that way too. You can get something
Yeah, you
for him.
Exactly. At that point, you should trade him. It's the same thing with Nadeau.
So then here's the thing.
Nadeau and
Sorry,
Nystrom
go
have
ahead,
to crack
Carter.
Nadeau and Nystrom have to in some way crack the at least part-time roster this year. Both if one of those two guys plays 4 games at the end of the season and that's it, they're gone for nothing. I mean, I guess Nadeau's an RFA, but at this point, Nystrom would be a UFA because he's got a second contract. So, I mean, they've kind of butchered that. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think you can call it a butchering, but what we might do, if we really can't, if Jarvis gets surgery, which in my opinion, that's what should be done, and this is the year to do it, then we have obviously a ready-made spot for Nadeau, which is that's what I think the plan should be. But if that's not going to happen, Nadeau has absolutely nothing left to prove at the AHL level.
It'll be detrimental if he stays down there.
It'll just hurt his career, and that would be a mistake for him. So then, however, there'd be nothing on the roster to replace him with. Like Matty B was saying, who are we going to target in a trade? There's no one that really makes sense. The only thing then left to do is trade him for future draft stock.
Well, that's the only thing you're going to because. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're going to do something like that, then I actually got a mock here of the first round because this is my thing. And I have some if we're going to, then we could actually really buck the trend instead of trading back, trade up. Usually, if we're not going to play him, then we might as well use him to trade up a few spots and get someone really nice that's still going to be, further down the line because Nadeau's being wasted here if we don't have a spot for him. That is true. I agree.
I will say this. Nadeau does not worry me as much as Nystrom does because one, I think he's going to get the spot. He's going to get that Jarvis spot, and in some way, shape, or form, someone like Carrier or Robinson's going to be a healthy extra by the end of the season. If Nadeau comes up, let's say Jarvis is out for let's say he's out till early January. Then whenever Jarvis comes back, Jarvis gets back in the lineup. Nadeau is still going to play in a top 9 role probably. And then, again, a Robinson or Carrier becomes your healthy extra. Maybe you swap Nadeau out every once in a while. The problem is Nystrom because, again, he's on a one-way, so you can't send him back down to Chicago without him going on waivers, which he would get claimed by probably a bottom 5 team. He wouldn't make it very long. And you can't really have him as your 7th defenseman either because then he's just sitting up there not doing anything. He's practicing with the team, but he's not getting any game action. That's going to make him actively worse.
He's too good to be a 7th defenseman to begin with. He needs to play.
He is better than that for sure, but that's, I mean, as far this is, what I will say this, Carter, is that this is a good problem to have. We are too deep. We're too deep. We have too many good players for the 20
What you mean?
spots.
You don't want to go back to having Chris Versteeg, Andre Nestersil, and Brad Malone in the lineup,
or playing Brett Belmore and Klaas Dahlbeck.
Well, essentially,
Jay McClement.
Jay McClement.
Well, essentially, we're at a point where I like to say this is the part of the hockey season where everyone's putting together. It's like I compare it to a Christmas wish list, and we all want our certain kind of players that wonder what happens if we trade for him, or what happens if we trade for him, what happens if we go here, what happens if we go there. What is it necessarily that we need right now?
I
nothing.
do not.
Exactly.
We don't need anything, but you got to stay ahead of it. If you don't make any changes, then the only thing you do is let your roster get a year older. And for Carolina's defense core, I don't think that's. I think there needs to be one. I feel like there needs to be one shakeup on the defense, just to get Nystrom in there. I don't.
He is waivers exempt. I did find that out.
Oh, he is.
He's waivers exempt.
So then we can waive him.
According to Puckpedia.
So we can send him to. It's a
well,
one-way deal. So
changes.
we still have to pay him. So we still have to pay him his NHL salary, no matter.
That's
what
no
he does,
problem.
But
As
he can play
long
in
as
Chicago.
as long as he can get sent back down to Chicago without getting claimed, then none of this is a problem. Then he becomes the Bradley Nadeau situation on defense.
So
And how injury prone some of our defensemen are, it probably won't be very long until he gets a call up anyways.
Well, solves that problem.
well, I mean, because if we're gonna do anything, especially this whole Elias Pettersson thing is really starting to really get on my last nerve because, okay, you're banking this off of one 100-point season. If he did it probably back to back, then I would be very interested. But I'm not gonna immediately be interested over one good season, and then suddenly he falls off. I mean, yeah, that's partially due to Vancouver, that he's in Vancouver.
Okay.
But he still is in full control of that. And he hasn't really, what I like to say, rescued himself. And,
Go ahead.
and my thing is, okay, you go get him. Who are you getting rid of?
Whatever right-handed defenseman you ship out so Nystrom can play.
No, I'm talking about going to get Elias Pettersson.
Yeah.
See, I don't want to ship out any right-handed. We already have two of them on the roster right now.
Yeah, but you're bringing Nystrom up.
Yeah, but I guess it would be Chatfield, but then you're doing that thing where you're shipping him back to Vancouver.
There's probably trade protections in there and whatnot. The Pettersson thing, I would love the Pettersson thing, not this offseason, but if we're still talking about it next offseason, my whole mindset changes. If we're still talking about potentially trading for Elias Pettersson while we're sitting here on June 19th of 2027, I'm all for it. Because at that point, Stahl's retiring. And Pettersson's not a small guy.
He's also really good defensively.
He is. You could get Pettersson to put on 30 pounds, and you've got a 6'3" good defensive center. I mean, Jordan Stahls don't grow on trees, but you can.
Jordan Stahls don't grow at all anymore. They don't develop centers like that nowadays. So it's like
that's interesting. You say that because there's actually someone in the draft that I think is pretty darn close, but we'll get to that later, maybe.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
He'll be taken before 31, so I doubt we'll get him.
Sam, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
You came into the middle of the conversation. I'm sorry, but please give us your thoughts on things.
So to me, actually, I would say the only position, and someone in our little group chat brought it up, Brandon, and I kind of agree. Probably goaltending, I think, is the area where I could see Carolina make a realistic upgrade. I mean, I know Connor Hellebuyck's name has been out there in rumors. I'm not saying we get him, but
we just did all this, Sam. Literally before you got on.
That's normal, though. It's like every time that I add somebody in, they start to talk about whatever topic we just got done with. It's normal.
This is what happens.
Do we really think that? Do we really think that Connor Hellebuyck is a realistic long-term upgrade over Brandon Bussey?
No,
I actually don't. So why? I think Brandon Bussey is a stud. I think he can carry the team. I think he's a starter. I don't think he's just a 1A, 1B situation. I think he's a starter. I
think Brandon Bussey, if given the right opportunity, is a top 10 goalie in the league already.
I agree.
And plus I can name off quite a few teams that desperately need a good goalie, like right now.
Like I said, if I'm trying to trade for a goalie, I'm going for Jesper Wallstedt. And even then, I don't see a need for it. It's just out of all the options that you could potentially. Okay, so the proposed package by Greg Wyshynski, who just let me put this out there in the nicest way possible. I don't like him. To put together some of the. Yeah, I think he's a moron, just to be perfectly honest. If it wasn't for him being in a fail upwards economy of sports journalism, he would be pumping gas or taking trash out, and he would find a way to mess that up too. Gas, not diesel, buddy. There's a difference. That's me being nice. You should hear some of the things I say in private with Matthew. But I've never been the biggest fan of that guy. But to come up with whatever he comes up with, like in this particular case, you can put a package like what he's proposing together, add one more piece, and potentially make a play for someone like Jesper Wallstedt instead of 33-year-old Connor Hellebuyck. I think Hellebuyck is a good goalie. I think that he's on a team that's not that great and that he would thrive behind Carolina's defense. The question is, for how long would it happen? And I don't think it would happen for very long. I think that this is a offseason where the Hurricanes essentially extend to Keishan and stand pat. I don't see anything else to do right now.
I do too.
Hey, man.
I agree.
With that being said, I'm going to go get another water.
Okay, and you know what? And I'll ask. I guess I can talk about this when he gets back. I don't even think Jesper Wallsted's an upgrade over Bussy either.
I do really like him. I think Jesper Wallsted is also a top 10 goalie in the league.
I do. I think
really
Wallsted. I think Wallsted's good, but I still think. I mean, granted, did Wallsted lose? Did Wallsted play in the playoffs against the Avalanche?
Yeah,
he got shelled a bit. But then he recovered a bit. But he got an introduction there. I mean, he's still pretty young. He was phenomenal against Dallas.
You know who did not
get crow after that one because I picked.
You know who did not get shelled in the playoffs?
Bussy.
Brandon Bussy.
Yep. He walked in, and small sample size aside, it was the biggest stakes imaginable in an extremely difficult situation of not playing for 2 months. And he walked in and slammed the door.
Well, I want to say
there was no point in the regular season whatsoever where I feel like Brandon Bussy deserved to get one bead.
There is one other thing.
He struggled a little bit after the Olympics. Sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah. There's one other thing I want to say about Pettersson because Carter brings up a really good point here. The thing that always scared me about Pettersson, well, there's two things. Well, actually three. But the biggest one is the term of that contract. The money doesn't bother me that much. The cap space is there. I don't care about that. People are like, oh, he's going to make more money than Aho. Nobody cares. Sebastian Aho doesn't either. He just wants to win. So no one cares about that. That was inflation. Huh?
Miller makes more than Slavin.
Yeah, and nobody cares. It's like that's inflation, if you will. Mm-hmm. So of course those guys are going to make more money. They sign their contracts later. Now, to your point, Carter, what you're saying about looking at Pettersson after Jordan Staal retires, if he chooses to do so, that becomes a much more realistic option because now you're talking a year from now. So that's less term that he would be under at that point because the term is what always scared me with Pettersson. The cap hit scares me a little bit just because of the third thing that I'm going to tie that into. I watched Elias Pettersson a lot over the last couple of seasons, and there's two reasons for that. I've actually watched him a lot his whole career. There's the reasons being, one, Vancouver is one of the teams I watch a lot after 10 o'clock because they're like the closest thing I have to a second favorite team. I don't want to sound like the people who have 7 teams in their bio, but that's the closest thing I have to one. That's the only other team I own merchandise of in the NHL. So I've watched him a lot. When Elias Pettersson is playing with effort, he is an outstanding player. But there are times where you can tell that he just doesn't look like he cares. Now, there are plenty of players who look like they don't care and have the most stoic look on their face possible, i.e. Teuvo Teravainen. So, and that's a thing with Finns and Swedes. They look like they just have the blankest, most dead look on their face. It's genetics. That's what it is more than anything. That's just that region of the world. That's how those men are. That's totally fine. But if you're talking about acquiring Elias Pettersson next summer, that becomes a much more reasonable and realistic thing, if you ask me. And it becomes a need at that point. So I don't want to do it right now. Where I always thought Pettersson was going to end up was in LA because they need to replace Kopitar. So, and if he goes out there, he stayed out west, who cares? And you're not going to see LA in the Stanley Cup Finals anytime soon, especially not playing against the Hurricanes. So I'm not worried about that. And I'll take Aho over Pettersson 20 times out of 20. So I'm not worried about that. But to your point, if he is available a year from us just talking right now, regardless of what happens in the playoffs next year, then that would be worth revisiting. The only thing about it is he's got to put on some muscle. He's got the right coach to do that, though. He'll make sure that happens. Yeah. And he's got the right skill set. He's just got to have the right attitude. And I don't want to automatically write him off because he's stoic. But, you know, he's pretty quiet. He says some things in the media that don't make a whole lot of sense. I can care less about that stuff. It depends on how he performs on the ice. So if Carolina were to acquire him and he upped the effort level, which he'd have to, because it would, if you don't play hard enough on the Hurricanes, it's very noticeable, i.e. Mikko Rantanen. So revisiting that in a year is a good idea.
So, right now, my question about him, though, like, how I thought he was pretty, like, how's his foot speed? Because I thought he was on the slower side.
No, he's a good skater. He's fast.
He's a good skater? All right.
Yeah, he's a very good skater. Let me pull up his edge data because I've looked at it before. I don't remember seeing. See, it's like one of the things that people were worried about when they were talking about acquiring Mason McTavish, and I'm less worried about this now because if you think about it, Jackson Blake is a little bit on the slower side. He's faster than most guys in the NHL, but when you're comparing him to the average speed of a Hurricanes player, he's a little bit on the slower side. He found ways to work around that, though. So having one or two players on your team that can slow the game down, as we saw in this last playoffs, is not always a bad thing. Yeah. Blake did that a lot. He did it effectively. Who else is really effective at that has been talked about before is Mason McTavish. I was a little bit worried about acquiring someone like him before because of the foot speed. Now, not so much. So if you want to go that route potentially, now if I'm given a choice between McTavish and Pettersson, that's almost a coin toss to me at the moment. But if you're talking about a year from now and you're saying, hey, Jordan Staal is retiring, you need to replace him with the closest player possible, Pettersson is kind of up there.
All right.
Man, if I had a coin flip between the two, I'd take McTavish because he's had time on a better team to get used to what a winning team is like to be around.
He's got some bite to his game too, McTavish.
Yeah, he's also younger and cheaper.
I'll take the upside of Pettersson.
Yeah, if he can find that upside, if Vancouver hasn't broken him already.
I think it's in there. I mean, you got to think. Well, let's think about speaking of players with that we're playing in a broken system. I mean,
21.03 is Pettersson's average speed, so it's not bad.
Is that not exactly what everyone was saying about Keandre Miller going into this season? That he was broken and the New York Rangers have like doomed him and failed his development and stuff.
That franchise can't develop anybody.
That's
but it's the same. It's the same concept as Pettersson in Vancouver. I mean, you get him out of a bad situation, put him in a good situation, he'll be better.
That's fair, but there is a difference. At least for me, I do because we're division obviously rivals. I've seen the Rangers and I'm familiar with them, and I also know how good Miller was prior to them sucking. Miller was, I think, the primary reason we lost to the Rangers twice.
Yes.
And
especially the second time.
Especially the second time. He was the primary reason. He shut us down.
Him and Kreider.
But especially I think Miller was fantastic against. So we got a nice, good, close look at Miller. So I knew how good he was. And then when the Rangers kind of just fell apart because Drury is just like the worst, probably the worst GM in the league. They're definitely up there and never changed.
That's not even an argument. He
never changed.
Worst GM.
Never changed. I hope he stays there forever and perpetually ruins them. So when he completely mismanaged the Rangers and they sucked, I knew it was not Miller's fault. I knew that was everything going on around him because I also saw how good Miller was. And so I always suspected Miller would thrive with the Hurricane. I didn't know it would be this good this quickly, as Brandon mentioned, but I knew he would work here. Pettersson, I guess I'll defer to Brandon there. I'm not as familiar, because I just haven't watched Vancouver as dedicated as I've seen the Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't either. I mean, I haven't watched as closely as Brandon has, but it's like what I read and when I look up about him, I mean, I get what Carter's saying. He's got potential, but I would say the difference between what Miller was going through and what Elias Pettersson's going through was Pettersson had a lot of things going on. Obviously, the beef between him and JT Miller was something that came out of that whole drama fest in Vancouver. Management was not helping because they just looked like they didn't have a plan to fix any of it. And they just didn't really fix the team either. And apart from signing Brock Besser, which someone needs to tell me how the heck that he managed to get signed. I mean, Vancouver, I don't know how far they are away from even getting competitive again, but it's going to be a while.
It's going to be years. It's going to be at least 5 years. Well, that's part of the reason I talked about Robert Thomas so much at one point is because St. Louis isn't going to be competitive again for a while. Now, they did good with asset management at this year's deadline. They got a lot of stuff.
Oh my God. They fleeced the Islanders and the Red Wings.
See, they shortened a 5-year rebuild to about 3, the Blues did, with the trades that they made. And they've got a good young core there. Now, does that core break through and start being competitive again in the amount of time that Robert Thomas is going to be there? Probably not. Do they start making the playoffs before the end of his contract? I think so.
Yes.
But like, I always thought that, it would have been in their best interest, not just because I wanted him to be a Hurricane. I thought it would be in their best interest to really jumpstart all that and take it into another gear by trading Robert Thomas as well, if he wanted to go anywhere. He's got a full no trade clause. So that's the other factor with that. So still, if given an option like right now, I just don't feel the need for the team to really do anything big in the offseason. I know Larkin is going to be discussed a lot if he adds Carolina to his list. He would. I see. I'm a Larkin guy. I would consider that. But the thing about it is, it's like, I just don't see that. And this is a good problem to have, as Matthew P. That's a good problem to have, because you don't have to have this sense of urgency, this hair trigger type reaction to get somebody. Otherwise, Vincent Trocheck would have been back in Carolina, and ultimately you didn't need him. So this is one of those things that I think that Carolina should, one, wait and see who they start the season with, if anybody has to not start the season for surgical or medical reasons. And then two, you see where you're at the deadline, and then consider maybe going and making another big move then, because I think trade deadline next season will be much more active than this one.
Honestly, I would probably go that route to replace Stahl, because Vincent Trocheck's been in the system. I mean, if you wait another year, Stahl retires. I don't know if Trocheck will still be in the Rangers, or he'll probably be somewhere else. But he's going to be cheaper, if not at the same price he's going to be, and he's already been in the system. He doesn't need to learn. He doesn't need to be taught anything. It's just a plug-and-play player. Whereas if you go get Elias Pettersson or Mason McTavish, you got to relearn a whole different system.
Yeah, the only thing there is that, like, when it comes to Mason McTavish, the biggest upside, like I said, he's got a bit of a bite to his game. Now we also have to consider 2 years from now, we got to think about what happens with Taylor Hall, and Taylor Hall's a bit of a rat. If you want to have another player that's got a little bit of a skill set like that, Mason McTavish has it more than Elias Pettersson does. So it just kind of depends on what the need becomes at the time, because the conversation we're having right now will be completely irrelevant a year from now. And then whatever conversation we have a year from now will be irrelevant a year after that. That's how quickly everything's going to change.
I am completely out on Vincent Trocheck now. 100%.
We don't need him.
I don't like him as a Stahl replacement, because Vincent Trocheck will be 33 next year. You'd be replacing Stahl for like 2 years, and Trocheck does not bring near the same skill set that Stahl does. I honestly think this is a crazy take. So get ready for this one, guys. I personally would rather, at this point, for the long-term plan, try and play Jesperi Kotkaniemi at 3C over trading heavy assets for Vincent Trocheck.
Well, there's only one person in this room who's going to remotely agree with you on that, and that's probably me. And Rod will never go for that. That's the other thing.
Right now, Brandon, because I'm pretty sure they just blew up.
Sam, tell us how you feel.
Oh, God,
Okay,
here we go.
well, so here's the thing. I think if we make any sort of type of big trade, let's look at the math here. We only have $11 million in cap space. So if we make some type of remote bid trade, you're probably going to have to ship KK out, whether it's through a buyout, which I don't think this team's going to do. They would have bought him out.
They have to do it this year if they're going to do it. Otherwise, he's over 26.
Yeah. Also, mind you, that $11 million is misleading, because there's still about $4 to $6 million of Alexander Nikishin that's not included in that.
Yeah, so it's going to go down.
I mean, if you manage to dump KK's contract, and that's about a wash. So then, if you manage to dump KK, then you end up about still, I would say, $10 million, because I do think Nicky's bridge deal probably ends up somewhere in the realm of like 5 to 5.5.
You're right.
Bridge, I think, is a little bit lower.
I heard someone talk about this. I don't think they're going to do a bridge. I think they're going to do like a 5, maybe a 6-year deal.
I'd be fine with that.
Nicky would be stupid to take that.
Why?
Because Nicky, if Nicky hits his potential in the next 2 years, he can get paid upwards of $12 million based off of what the skill set that he can have. If he takes it, because right now we can all agree Nicky's not making more than $7 million right now. If he signs an
No.
8-year extension, if he signs a 7-year extension, Alexander Nikishin's not making more than 6.5 probably.
Yeah.
If Alexander Nikishin waits, signs a 2 to 3 year bridge, and then pans out, ends up being and this is all hypothetical, but ends up being like a 60-point defenseman with a big physical hit, that number goes from 7 million to like 11, 12 million.
Yeah, 10 plus.
He'd be
for sure.
Nicky and his agent would be stupid not to take a bridge deal.
Well, also he just won a cup, so you can arguably say his price just went up.
It did. The price for this is one of the good things about not having a whole lot of stuff to take care of internally with contracts. Because if Carolina had a bunch of UFAs right now, they'd be in deep shit. Because that anybody holding the Stanley Cup up automatically is going to qualify for quite the raise.
Cup tax.
So,
Yep.
yeah. So we're in this
Cup
case, I think Nikishin is going to end up taking a bridge deal. If you can go ahead and get him to sign long term, because you have until September 15th to get him to take 8 years. And then that's when the 7-year limit kicks in. I'm kind of on the fence about that just from a foot speed standpoint, because there were a couple of times where he got burned kind of bad. The things I was worried about with Nikishin didn't happen. I was worried about him chasing hits, and he did that one time in the playoffs. Granted, it led to a really bad 2-on-1, but, it's like, or I'm sorry, a 2-on-0, but ultimately nothing came of that, and henceforth why the Hurricanes have a cup today. But that's my one little bit of a concern with Nikishin. But I definitely think that if you can get him to sign a bridge, go ahead and let him do that, because the cap will go up another 8 to 10 million in, let's say, 2 years. And you don't have to worry about signing any of your big guys for a while yet. Aho, Svechnikov, Jarvis, Stankoven, Blake, they're all locked up long-term. All the other guys are either replaceable bottom sixers or they're going to retire. So you don't have anything to worry about there.
We might be able to tempt him, though, and offer him the same deal that Miller got. See if he'd take it.
I'd give it to him if he took that.
Yeah,
without a second thought.
Because Blake
Yeah.
and Stankoven both made a decision of job security over maximizing earning potential,
And it helped the organization.
and it helped the organization immensely. So, I would probably give both options to be like, hey, yeah, we can bridge you, but if you want full on job security, we're willing to give you that too. And here's what we offer you.
I don't know if those two are the same though, just because I think last year, the amount of drama that went in just to getting him over here probably made his agent more the agent's going to want to do what's best for Nicky at this point, because the organization kind of botched that a little bit. Now, granted, things I'm sure amends have been made with that, because that was a whole year ago. We're Cup champions and all that. But here's my thing, and I guess for Jackson Blake, this might be a bit off, but I don't think there's as big a difference in potential payout from what those guys got to what Nicky could get. Because, again, Jackson Blake took a 5.1, Stanko took a 6. I think you could argue that if those guys with their potential that they could hit could be $7 to $8 million players.
Stankovic could
Nicky,
get higher.
huh?
Stankovic could be higher.
Maybe I can give Stanko 9, but I don't think Stanko is going to be. I don't think Stanko at any point is going to be a $10 million a year player. I don't think he's got that. That being said, Nicky, if he pans out, is far above a $10 million player.
Well, bear this in mind. The drama was created by his Russian agent.
True.
I'm not worried
Yeah,
about
that whole drama thing was created by his Russian agent. His Russian agent ended up coming out and saying, we're just so passionate because we wanted to see him play.
Yeah.
Okay, and my response to that I kind of didn't text was like, okay, well then what was all that drama for?
I think the potential gap between the bridge deal and the long-term deal, and the potential earnings based off the player is just so much bigger with Nicky. I think even offering him the Keandre Miller 8 by 7.5, I still think he's selling himself short based on his potential.
Well, also he's an RFA this year, right?
Yeah, and
Yes.
he's an exclusive rights RFA, so he can't be offer sheeted either.
Okay, that's one thing I wanted to wanted to clarify on, because I know he's going to be an RFA. So if he doesn't have exclusive rights, then he's going to be offer sheeted. I do know one team that could use a big Russian defenseman, and his best friend's on that team that he played with.
Montreal, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they cannot, in fact, offer sheet him. So
That's what I'm saying. They
suck
can't
on,
offer
suck
sheet
on
him.
that, Habs.
Yeah, no. So it's with
we have
with
we have all the leverage though. See, that's the thing.
Mhm.
That's why I think that I'm not like, I mean, Bridge. If I'm Eric, right? If I'm Tulsky, which I am not, it has been amply demonstrated. He is far superior to me. But I would offer him. But I would actually offer him like a Miller type long-term deal. I would offer him a bridge deal too.
I wouldn't hate it.
I mean, you're not doing your job if you don't offer him the long-term, make him a long-term offer.
Well,
I would probably say it's
organizationally, it's better to give him the long-term deal. For Nicky himself, it's better for the bridge deal.
That's maximizes earning potential, but as Tulsky has said multiple times when he talks about these, is that the team takes some risk in these long-term deals, and the risk. It's like he said, it's like insurance, and that's actually what I do for a living. So I know this well. It transfers a risk from the player to the team, and sometimes the team obviously benefits, like we have with Blank and Stankoven, but the player gets to say that they have no risk, because as much as earning potential as you're talking about, Carter, God forbid a major injury happens and his career gets derailed.
That's also
that's
true.
the wild card. That's the risk of a bridge deal.
Or to become KK.
Yeah, or
I mean, leave him alone. He's already dead.
Stop! He's already dead. But no,
just dance on his grave a little bit more. Why don't you? And mine too.
Give him a paper cut and pour lemon juice on it.
Yeah, seriously. More and more salt in the wound. Here, KK, have another 40 lashes. Jesus Christ.
Like I said, Sam, that is Stanley Cup champion. Yes, Barry Kotkaniemi to you.
You're correct. You're correct.
You know who doesn't have a cup? Trocheck does not have a cup. Rantanen does not have a cup. Connor McDavid does not have a cup. Yes, Barry Kotkaniemi has a cup.
Mikko Rantanen has a cup. He won it with Colorado.
Oh, that's right. He did. Damn it all.
Relevant to
right, fellas,
this year,
I'm going to head
He's
out.
not going to win one with Dallas.
All right.
Bounce. Great talking to y'all, though.
All right, buddy. Nice seeing you. We'll have you on again here soon.
Yeah, take care, Carter. Good to talk to you.
Connor
McDavid, though, does not have a cup, and yes, Barry freaking Kotkaniemi does.
Yeah, I'm about to roll out here in a few minutes too, but I will say this: Mikko Rantanen better be glad he has that cup, because
Dallas
is looking at Dallas is looking up a couple of years or more from even being competitive enough to winning a cup.
They cap strapped themselves with the Rantanen contract.
Yeah, that's the whole.
They're going to lose Robertson now, probably.
Well, I think he should, because the fact that they extended Wyatt Johnson first while he was already there, because he was already there for like a year or two before Wyatt got there, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's been there for longer. Yeah, Wyatt Johnson's like 20.
Yeah, so it's like, why did you sign him before me? That in and of itself, I'm surprised he stayed that long. And I think he is going to move. I'm honestly thinking, if anyone's going to get him, I know a team that could use him. Pittsburgh.
They got to get younger.
Do not come to the Metro, please.
Yeah, I don't want Robertson. I mean,
Yeah,
I've always liked Robertson. I've always
0%
really
chance
wanted.
they make an actual hockey trade with Ron Francis in the building. He'll shoot that down whether he's the advisor.
Well, that's because he just wants trade. Yeah, that's because he just wants picks.
Picks.
He wants picks to take slow, stupid defensemen like 10th overall that play 100 games.
Now,
ridiculous.
I wanted everyone's reaction about this before I leave. I know we're jumping all over the place. What was everyone's reaction to that Darren Radish trade?
Okay. All right. I've actually been wanting to talk about this all day. So here's the thing about it.
That's very risky. Very risky.
That's not risky. That's detrimental. Here's the reason why I say that to the Leafs. Darren Radish is a good hockey player. There are not many people who can put up 70 points and play as well defensively as he did this season. There are very few people who do it more than once. An example of this which was much less risky for the organization it happened for, was Calgary Flames with Mark Giordano when he decided to have the year of his life near the end of his career and finally win a Norris. If you are expecting Darren Radish to have another 70-point season or even a 60-point season and maybe even a 50-point season while playing as good defensively as he does on what is ultimately a worse team, that is not happening. There is a 0% chance that will happen. He will band-aid their second power play unit if they don't move Morgan Riley out and then put him on the top one, which is not going to happen either. But I think they made a mistake signing him for the amount of money that they did. The term would have been fine.
Oh, go ahead.
The term that they got for him, that's fine. But the amount of money, even with the cap going up, they made a pretty big mistake today, if you ask me. And I like Darren Radish. He got his bag and he earned it. But he is not going to replicate the season that he had.
Not on the Leafs. Yeah.
Well,
like
this is what something that's puzzled me. And someone, I think it was someone on the Leafs, actually, on the Leafs media said this too. Tampa signed and traded him to a competitor. They actively helped him get this contract
in the Atlantic Division.
Yeah, in the Atlantic Division. So what does Tampa know that we don't? And more importantly, if they are so freely willing to trade him to a division rival, what the heck does Tampa got cooking up that we don't know?
Well, see, whatever it is, we'll know soon, because you remember at the draft a couple of years ago when they traded Sergachev and made room for Gensel, and then they did something. They very well could be doing something like that right now. I just don't understand the Leafs' mindset of signing a 30-year-old defenseman who had 70 points for because Radish is 30, right?
Yeah, 29 going on 30.
Yeah, and he had a season that he is more than likely. I'll eat my crow on this if this ends up not being the case. And like I said, I like Radish. I think he's a good player. He's a good, balanced, two-way defenseman that leads towards the defensive side, and he managed to put up 70 points and stay healthy all year. He's never had more than 37 before that. He got paid for his production, not his defense. Otherwise, he would make slaving amounts of money at the most. So I don't understand it from the standpoint of the Leafs, other than to try and pitch to Matthews that they're going out of their way to make the team better so that he doesn't walk or sign another short-term deal, then walk. That's what you think he's gonna do?
Well, I thought trying to get Radish was them trying to get Matthews to stay here.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough. Like, I'm sorry, I don't understand that. I think that was a hair trigger move, and it makes me all the more happy that Carolina has the front office they have, because that would not have happened with them. The riskiest move they've made recently in terms of something like that is Keandre Miller, and they did their homework on him. So that's not one to worry about. But the Radish thing, like I said, no disrespect to Radish as a player, but that just doesn't make sense to me, other than they are trying to signal to Matthews that they're trying to improve the team and improve it quickly. And that was the best move they could make for the time being. If Darren Radish comes out and has consistent 45 to 50 point seasons and plays 82 games and does well in the playoffs, it will be worth that contract. What is the likeliness of that happening? I would say it's lower than Chatfield or Gostisbehere's sweater number. It is not going to be that way.
I'm not even convinced that the Leafs are going to make the playoffs next year.
I'm not either.
No.
And that's with, I know they're going to take McKenna, and McKenna's going to put up some points, but they still got the same I mean, their fundamental issue, obviously, the goaltending just got worse also because they made that deal for Erson and traded Joseph
Samuel Ersson.
Yeah, and Ersson. And Joseph Wall is better. Like, so I don't like, so their bad goaltending got worse. And although Darren Radish is a good player, like you said, I do agree, he's not what their problem is. Their problem is that they're slow. Their blue line is slow. They look like molasses. Their whole team is slow. And Darren Radish, he is good, but he's not what I'd call like fast.
Well, he's good on the power play.
He's good on the Leafs. The power play. I mean, they've got plenty of weapons already. They struggled for a bit, but their power play came along. It actually it was fine in the second half of the year. That's not why they lose. They lose because they can't keep the puck out of their net.
But a funny part of why they probably got him is because of their head coach Jim Hiller, who's the fun power play guy.
That was also a mistake. The Leafs cannot get out of their own way.
Well,
They are cursed. They are the Mets of the NHL.
Well,
They are just they are constantly tripping over their own foot and shooting themselves. And it's, when it's not your team that's doing it, it's actually kind of funny to watch.
Well, Matthew P, can I also do something?
Sure.
I changed my mind. Chris Drury's not the worst GM in the NHL.
Yeah,
He's
maybe.
duking it out. He's duking it out with John Chaika for that.
They're trying to outdo one another. That's for sure.
We should
They're
have
heavyweight
a
out right
ranking.
now. And I can't pick one.
John Carl, who said Lux Bull Moose actually said there. John Carlson might be going to Tampa. That's actually, I can see that.
Yeah, well,
That
see,
might
that
be
doesn't help
good.
them a ton either because he's getting old. He's a good player still, but he's getting old.
He is, but I'm not sure that like the deal he's going to sign. I mean, I guess was probably trying to get as much term as he can. But I guess Tampa probably likes John Carlson better than Rad. John Carlson is better than Radish in the aggregate at least.
Yeah. But so I guess we can all brainstorm and kind of think of hypotheticals here. Who the heck is Tampa getting?
Carlson makes sense.
John Carlson does make sense.
Because I was going to go for more of a way out there crazy take.
All right. This is the place for crazy takes. Go for it.
Well, y'all are going to torch me and think I'm crazy.
Nah, man, you're among friends here.
I know they say he could be there for life. Money talks, and what if Tampa swings crazy and tries to steal Kale out of the Avalanche?
If they keep going downhill, they're going to have to consider moving on from him.
So it's not that
Kale
crazy.
is not the one. Kale is not the one that I think would leave.
Nature's
the person who would be like maybe. Well, it's. See, I don't think. I think Kale and McKinnon are there for life, but what Tampa might be trying to pull, and the reason they don't want to give Darren Radish any money, is they might be trying to get McDavid or Matthews later when their contracts expire.
McDavid.
We talked about this 2 days ago.
Everybody's clearing the table for him
Tampa,
right now.
McDavid wants to win, and he's going to go to a winner. And we can make that pitch too. We talked about this 2 nights ago. So I think we want to keep our powder dry for that too, without a doubt.
Dude, I don't even want to think about that.
He wants to go to a winner. And I can almost guarantee you it's going to be a recent one. It's going to be Tampa. It's going to be Florida. It might be Vegas, and it might be Carolina.
I don't even want to think about what that package is going to look like to get him.
No, free agency. No,
free
agency.
Unless you can get him in a definitive sign and trade, I wouldn't even think about it until free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
but I think that's what
stylistically would fit.
The problem I have with Natchez is I don't disagree with doing it. The problem is if you're Colorado, you're committing reputation suicide because you literally just signed him. Well, his deal doesn't kick in yet, but you literally just signed him to a deal, and you're basically saying, "Nah, we're kicking the bricks with you, and getting something else."
Yeah, I don't think Colorado's going to make any kind of major shakeup to their core. I don't see it, but I do see that Tampa is probably. I could see something like that, or maybe even Austin Matthews, because he might walk to free agency too, depending on what happens.
Matthews will probably go to free agency before McDavid does. I think McDavid would sign and trade to go somewhere before Matthews.
Don't their contracts end at the same time?
They do, but the thing about it is like Matthews has been signing these short-term, what are essentially bridge deals his entire career. He was the one who kind of made that a thing. Because you remember he signed that first 5-year deal when his ELC was up, and then he signed similar term deals ever since. So, I mean, I think that Matthews would have more of a desire to test the market, whereas McDavid would probably just want to, if he were to sign and trade to a contender, whether that's Carolina, Florida, or Tampa, or Vegas, or whomever, he's going to go to a team that he knows is going to be good for the majority of the time he has remaining playing. So I would see him potentially doing something like that, or going to free agency, whereas with Matthews, I think that he would play hardball and just go to free agency. So just based on the history of what they've done with their signings, because McDavid has shown that he'll bend for a team to try and get better.
And we can make the same pitch to both of them.
I'd rather get McDavid personally.
I would too. I would too. But beggars can't be choosers. I mean, if only one of them is available, and you could do worse than Austin Matthews. So
I'll actually throw a team in there that I've heard get bounced around that I think Austin would fit. I'm not going to say because I don't know for sure, but it's just a hunch. Throw San Jose in there. I think he'd fit with San Jose. Austin Matthews would.
They'll have to give up Smith or something like that. They can't have Smith, Celebrini, and Matthews.
Yeah. Well,
I can imagine that. San Jose is going to be pretty good pretty soon.
And he's from Arizona, so I could see why he would want to play somewhere like San Jose.
Well, San Jose is going to get. I think they're going to make the playoffs next year.
They will make the playoffs.
Be a juggernaut.
I'll call it. They're not. There won't be a juggernaut next year, but they'll be a playoff team, and pretty soon they will be. Like in 3 or 4 years, they're going to be a juggernaut.
They are one great defenseman and one goaltender away from being a juggernaut.
The goaltending is the only thing they took a step back on because they thought getting Askarov was going to do it for him, and that ended up not being the case.
Didn't quite work, but they're about to take their future number 1 defenseman in the draft here in my mock. They're going to take Chase Reed.
Well, all right, guys. Well, I got to head out, but it was great talking to all of you, meeting all of you.
You as well.
And I really hope I get to talk to you guys again soon. So y'all have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you soon, guys.
And I appreciate you joining us, buddy. Thank you.
No problem, man. I hope to do it again soon.
Absolutely.
Y'all take care, guys.
You too, buddy.
See ya. You know a player
again.
Yep. You know a player I could see Tampa trying to get with that move of the Radish trade? Because he would make that blue line younger, and he's really up there in trade rumors. Well, if Tampa goes to New Jersey and tries to get Simon Nemec.
Yeah. I mean, Nemec has – I mean, they could, and it depends on how much you believe in him. Honestly, he hasn't shown it to me yet. I'm not really – I think he might be entering bust territory pretty soon. He just hasn't shown enough to me. I mean, Devil's Joint more better than I do, Brandon. I don't know if he's talked about him a lot. How does he – has he viewed him?
He likes him.
He really likes him? Okay.
Yeah. Basically, he likes everybody on the team not named Hughes. Which I don't blame him for.
I don't blame him for that either. Although Jack Hughes is an American hero. Gotta say that.
See, the thing is, it's like, you know what Jack needs to do? He needs to, 1, put on some muscle, and 2, play wing. He is significantly more effective at the elite level.
He was great. He went to Team USA, played wing. It was fantastic.
He was great as a winger.
At 4 Nations, he tried to play center and was terrible.
Yeah, if you take a little bit of the defensive responsibility away from him, he's a significantly more effective player. Like, I'm never gonna see. That's the thing about it. And it looks like I think they're gonna end up extending Heischer, and then they would be looking for another center, especially if they decide to front load that top line with So if they went with Heischer, Bratt, and Hughes for a top line, like a regular 5-on-5 line, instead of them just loading that up when they're trying to win games that they inevitably lose, that's like Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov is for Carolina. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing the Devils can do to help themselves. If they hadn't signed Luke to the contract that they signed him to, they'd be in a much better place right now. They really messed up there.
Mm-hmm. So, Brandon, question. I know we're going to do more of this later, but I got my mock right here. I've been sitting on this for like a week. Can I just quickly go through it?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So, and this, again, for our viewing audience, this is what I would do if I were making the pick in the spot that is being selected and I had to make a pick. I cannot predict, different trades and pick swaps, although a pick swap did happen recently that I had to actually I did have to change some things because that did change the dynamic a little bit. But and I know we're going to do more on this later, so don't want to dive too much in depth, but I do want to go through it. Okay, so Toronto.
One thing I want to talk about real quick. Apparently, Bowen Byram is asking for $10 million.
I heard that, and that I you can't be serious. Like, wait, are you serious? Let me laugh even harder. Like that is a bender one if I've ever seen.
He sees himself as a number 1 defenseman, apparently, according to this Frank Saravelli post that I see right here.
That is a bender if I've ever seen it. Okay, so. All right, so Toronto is taking Gavin McKenna first overall. We know this. I think it's all but confirmed that they basically told him that at the combine, and so they're taking him. Even though you could definitely make an argument, you can make an argument that Ivor Stenberg is a more complete player. He probably won't get as many points, but he's better defensively, and he's further along in other skills than McKenna is. McKenna does have the better upside, though. I'll admit. At first, I was a little skeptical of McKenna because he didn't have the best start to his NCAA career, but he figured it out. And then he also, when someone insulted his mother, he beat the shit out of him. So that was
I have
cool.
nothing but respect for that.
Yeah. And San Jose picking second overall, they're taking Chase Reed. Chase Reed is definitely the best defenseman in the draft. He's one of maybe there's one other defenseman that could play in the NHL next year, but Chase Reed is definitely the best. Vancouver is taking Ivar Stenberg. There's some thought that they might take Caleb Malhotra to go along with their coach, with Manny. Great cane, Hurricanes by the way. Legend. I liked Hurricanes legend, Manny Malhotra.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But if what I would do, they might do it. Now, Vancouver might actually be that dumb and take Malhotra over Stenberg. But if I'm the GM, I'm taking Stenberg. And then Chicago
I would be too.
Yeah. And then Chicago will take Malhotra. Malhotra is probably the best center in the draft. He's rocketed up. He started kind of like middle first round, but he shot up, so he's pretty good. 5 is New York. I have them taking Albert Smits. Now, Smits, I don't know if you know, he played for Latvia's team in the Olympics. I was very impressed by him. So thank God I'm not Chris Drury, because I think I could not do a better job than Tulski, but I could do a better job than Chris Drury. And I would take Albert Smits. He's a fantastic defenseman. 6, Calgary, I got taking Viggo Bjork. And let me tell you, Viggo Bjork is Logan Stankoven 2.0, except maybe a little better. Viggo Bjork got every bit of the motor and even a bit more creativity. Viggo Bjork is phenomenal. Seattle, I got them taking Daxon Rudolph. He's probably the best offensive defenseman in the draft, and they could use some of that. Winnipeg, I have them taking Keaton Verhoff, another solid, probably middle pair defenseman, like 3 or 4 guy, but super solid. Florida, they're going to make this Florida pick. They're going to take Ethan Belchetz, who's a massive, destructive winger and is going to be a pain in the ass. Nashville, that's what I'd do. Again, this is what I would do. Yeah. Nashville, I have them taking Tynan Lawrence, probably the second best center. There was some concern with him, but I think he answered a lot of those questions. And so I still have him staying in the top 10. And here's where it gets interesting. Here's where I would be a Maverick here. St. Louis has, I think, actually 3 first-round picks. And they're 11th overall. I have them taking Liam Ruck. And that's because, and you'll see why later. Liam Ruck is led, was the second in scoring in the WHL, second to only his twin brother. And 12, I have New Jersey, and this is going to be annoying and really, really painful to see. But if I was them, I would take Wyatt Cullen. Wyatt Cullen is going to be a beast in this league. He is phenomenal. He is rocketed, and he might even go higher. Yes, he's Matt Cullen's son. Okay. His one of several. Actually, I think Matt Cullen has 3 sons. I think he's like the middle child or something like that. So, but Wyatt Cullen is fantastic. There was at the beginning, like 3 months ago, he was considered to be like maybe second round, maybe a fringe first, but he has just shot up and he might go top 10. I have New York at 13th, taking Oliver Suvanto. He is actually a very, very solid centerman, much and actually very similar to Aho. They're both Finnish, and he plays a similar game of just a solid 2-way centerman.
He's a solid 2-way center right now until New York ruins his development.
Well,
and then
with the Islanders aren't as
it's the Islanders. My bad.
The Rangers I have them taking Albert Smits. Now Smits,
right. You just said that.
Smits is really, really good right now. He's like him and Chase Reed, I think, are the only 2 that could play in the NHL next year. But I mean, New York is just terrible, so they probably ruin him, even though Albert Smits is really good.
Yep.
The Islanders take Suvanto. Columbus at 14th takes Oscar Hemming. His brother was drafted a couple of years ago. Oscar Hemming is similarly a great player, power winger, Finnish, really, really good. And then St. Louis picks at 15th, and I have them taking Marcus Ruck. Both of those led the Marcus Ruck actually led the WHL in scoring. Liam was only second, only 4 points behind him. And so I have the Twins. I have St. Louis taking the Twins because they share a brain. They're better. They're much better together than apart, and they can do a lot of damage. I have Washington at 16th taking Xavier Villeneuve. He is very, very similar to Lane Hudson. He's got that kind of skill set, and he could be very, very dangerous.
That makes sense that they would want to draft him, considering they drafted Cole Hudson.
And they have Cole Hudson as well. And I have LA at 17 taking Maddox Dagenais. I got a good look at him because I was watching some of the QMJHL playoffs, and his team went up against Ivan Ryabkin's team. And he was very impressive to me, Maddox Dagenais. He's a center. He's big. He's rangy. He's got a great shot. He was super impressive. Then Washington actually does pick again. They have picked 16 and 18, and I have Washington taking Adam Novotny. He's a Czech speedster. This guy is fast, and he's got really a lot of tools. Defensively, he needs work, but he is extremely fast and very dangerous. 19, I have Utah taking Ilya Morozov. I would love if Morozov would fall down to us. I don't think he will, though. This is the Jordan Staal. He is that good. He is that kind of player. It is rare these days, but he is that kind of guy. He plays a phenomenal two-way center game, and he's 17 years old playing top line minutes in the NCAA at a 17. And he doesn't look out of place at all. Then here's pick 20. Buffalo just moved up to this spot. It was San Jose's, so I had to kind of change this here. I have Buffalo taking Alexander Command, another good Swedish center. Good two-way guy, very toolsy. And then I have Philadelphia at 21 overall, taking Jackson Cover. This is a reach by considered most people, but Jackson Cover, I fallen in love with this guy. This guy is incredible. I would love it if the Canes picked him. This is higher. This is about 10 spots higher than he's projected, but I would do it because Jackson Cover, he has got all the skill in the world. He has a phenomenal hands. And then next is J.P. Hurlburt for Pittsburgh at 22nd. All this guy does is put up points. There's some question about translatability to the NHL, but I think it's worth taking a swing on at 22nd. 23, Boston, I have taken Nikita Klepov. Now, the Klepov is another guy I would love if he fell to us. I actually saw a scouting report, or I think it was actually NHL Prospects, Locked On Prospects, that said, boy, he'll go before 31 almost certainly. But they said, what is the best fit for him? And they said Carolina Hurricanes. Nikita Klepov he's like a left-handed Jackson Blake. And then at 24, I have Vancouver taking Juho Piparinen. He is a shutdown defenseman. He's very good at it. So super solid there. 25, Seattle picks again. I have them taking Igor Shilov, who is he's a boom or bust guy. A lot of people have him lower than this or further back than this, but some people have him even higher. He's in the queue, which inflates a lot of stats, but he can score, he can shoot, and he can pass, and he can. He's a pretty good offensive player. New York picks again at 26. New York Rangers, that is. I have them taking Jack Hextall. Just finish up here. 27th, San Jose moved back to this spot. I have them taking Ryan Lynn because they just need defensemen, and Ryan Lynn is a solid, again, probably solid, bottom four defenseman there. I have Montreal taking Malte Gustafsson, another solid. There's actually quite a few of these. They're very solid, middle or bottom pair defensemen that are very projectable. Then I have St. Louis with their third pick in the first round taking Tommy Blale. Tommy Blale is more of an offensive-minded defenseman. In a very similar vein to Villeneuve, except he's a little taller but less dynamic. At 30th, I have Calgary taking Tomáš Šrenko, who is a Slovak centerman. I really like him. He's a good two-way guy, and he's putting up pretty good numbers for Slovakia in their pro league. So he's already playing against men. At 31st, the Canes are going to do everything they can to trade this pick back. There are very few players where if they fall, I would want to take them instead of trade back. I'd say like Morozov, Cullen, and Cover are probably the three people I would consider not trading back for and just making the pick. But in my mock, none are available. And if they have to make a pick at 31, I have them taking Brooks Rakowski. Now, you'll like this, Sam, because a couple of years ago, remember Dean Letourneau? Remember how you wanted him? Remember that guy? I think I remember you saying that.
Maybe.
But unless my memory fails me. He's an enormous right-handed center.
Yes.
And,
okay. Yeah.
Okay. If you remember that. And then
Awesome
last year there was Mason West,
who
was also an enormous right-handed center that we traded the pick that ended up being, we traded back, and then that pick was selected to take Mason West. That's still kind of, that wounded me. But I'm not going to bring that up again. But here's the third time. We got a third chance to get an enormous right-handed centerman. Now, Brooks Rogowski is another polarizing pick here. They say he's not, because the range on him is actually interesting. You'll like this, Brandon. He could, his floor is, I'd say, a fourth line center in the likes of Mark Jankowski. That's
so
his
he doesn't
floor.
hit people.
Yeah, he's not. That's the knock on him, is that he needs to use his physicality more. He's enormous. He just needs to do it. Now, he can throw a hit. He just doesn't do it enough. That's basically what I've seen. So that's kind of his floor as a fourth line center. His peak, though, is probably someone like Brock Nelson. And some people mentioned Tage Thompson. I doubt he'll ever be that good, but he could be someone like a very, very solid middle six center who he's killed penalties and plays the power play. He goes to the net and he plops his, all 6'7" ass self right in front of the goalie. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do when you're that big. So I do like that. I would take him if I had to make the pick and he was available. And then I have Ottawa finishing up the final pick of the first round, taking Mathis Preston. Now, this guy is also amazing. He's amazingly skilled. Honestly, he might be he's similar
He's
to
the type of player
Worthington.
we would draft.
He is the type of player we would draft. Now, I would not take him for the sole reason that we've already got 6 of these. And so there really isn't another room for another one. But he is very, very similar to, an incredibly skilled, smallish right-handed winger. He's another one. And so he fits that mold. The Canes might take him again if he's available, or trade back and take him if he's still available. So I could definitely see him being a Canes pick, but he's not what I would do just because we got so many of these already.
Exactly.
So that is my first round.
All right. Okay, Brooks Rogowski. He's going to be my number one person to try and draft for the Canes.
He's big. He's a big boy, and he can shoot. And he's got pretty decent hands. I like him. I like him. We might be. He's someone we could theoretically trade back and still get. Brendan, you all right? You're muted.
Sound like a chipmunk.
And now you're hearing chipmunk. Your audio is all messed up.
Hey, Alvin, how are you doing?
Yeah. You might need to unplug and replug that one.
Son of a bitch.
All right.
There we go.
Okay.
That's better. So thank you for letting me do that, Brandon. I've been sitting on that for a while, and I wanted to get it in.
Well, we're going to go into detail on that on Friday, and then the other thing is we're going to do playoff player grades during the draft itself, so that way it's not as brutal as last year while we wait on Carolina to trade their picks back.
To trade back, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what we'll do, and of course you're invited to that as always.
Matt, question about the draft.
Yes.
This is supposed to be a pretty deep draft. That's why I'm
Yes,
here.
it is. Yes, it is. Amazingly
I
deep
still
draft.
think I still think Carolina trades the pick, but I think the last time we had a deep draft, we decided to keep it.
Yeah, we picked Nadeau in that draft.
Yeah.
When everyone just made a pick, there were no trades at all. So that could happen here. The thing is that trading back is favored, but trading up is stupid. So that's when the draft is so deep, you're giving up talent by trading up. And so it depends on can the Canes find a victim? Can they find someone who's stupid enough to do it? And they probably can, but they might not. If enough people wise up and be like, no, I'm going to hold on to our picks, and because this draft is so deep, and we'll just make them. That's the smart thing to do. But as we found out, there are some GMs that are not so smart. So if the Hurricanes can trade back, I think they definitely will. And the only reason I would not trade back is if someone in my top 20 tends, for whatever reason, falls.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I would consider actually making the pick.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tulski's very analytical with the draft. If there's not some star-studded player, he ain't.
Right.
He's just gonna trade back because all he views with draft picks, as we keep hearing, is like darts on a dartboard. More draft.
Well, he loves upside too. He loves upside. He doesn't pick it doesn't accumulate picks to target someone at random. He targets people with intention that have upside, and not everyone hits. Noel Gunler had a lot of top 6 upside. He didn't hit. Zion Nybeck is another guy that had, a lot of top six up high. He didn't hit. So not everyone's going to hit, but he picks it, because that's how you get talent in this. That's how you get top six talent in this league. Trading for it is ridiculously expensive, and free agency is ridiculously expensive. And you're fighting everyone who's competing for their services. With the draft, you get to have your scout information and look at it and say, that's a guy. That's a guy that can play,
especially the later it gets in it.
Out. Yeah, that's a guy where I see top six upside here. No one can compete with us now. He is ours for the taking. That's how you build high octane talent. The most offensive, the most talent on offense you get is through the draft.
There's one prospect that I'm in because I think he did pretty good over in Russia. Frolov.
Well, he got injured.
He did get hurt.
He's a goalie. He got in. He had like a stellar 3 weeks and then got hurt, and that was it. Yeah. And so unfortunately, it's like an incomplete grade for me. I gotta see more. He's got to stay healthy. God willing, he will.
Maybe he picks another goalie. I don't know if he does.
There's some. I don't think there are any goalies good enough for the first round. There are some ones that he might take, that could pan out. And I think there's definitely going to be some goalies in this draft that'll play NHL games.
I think he needs to pick a centerman, though.
Yeah, Rogowski. Rogowski, if someone like Command falls, he's really good. There isn't like a Celebrini caliber center.
Yeah.
McKenna and Stenberg are both wingers, but there are a lot of good two-way centers in this draft. Even going past the first round, there are a lot of good centermen in this draft.
Imagine if we drafted a guy with the last name of Command. That'd be so much fun to talk about. Yep. I command you to do this.
He commands the ice. He commanded it going to the net. That's great. I like see a lot of these players that I have here have been rising, like Dagenais, Command, Kover, Niklepov. A lot of these players, they have risen in the last few months. Because I was looking at them for a while ago and asking about it, and then I'm looking at tape and I'm seeing these guys are really good. If they fall to the first, to the end of the first or second round, that's probably a mistake. And from what I've seen, scouts are wising up to that, and a lot of these players are probably going to be taken before they get to us, unfortunately.
Another question here, and this is to both of you: if there was going to be one team to trade in the first round, who would it be?
What kind of trade? Like trading up, trading back, making a trade for a player, or
making a trade for a player? So draft pick, they trade their draft pick for a player. I think that's Florida.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Florida or Tampa.
Now, you're probably right. I think that I saw a little mock trade here with San Jose trading back, but not too far, like trading with Chicago to trade back to fourth. Like they swap picks 2 and 4, and then maybe San Jose recoups some or gets another asset out of it, because San Jose wants to take Chase Reed, and Chicago, if they don't want Malhotra, if they swap 2 and 4, they could take Stenberg, and then to make sure Vancouver doesn't get him. That could happen, but again,
be interesting.
Yes, again, I can't predict that though.
Yeah,
I can't predict it. So that's not. I didn't pick it based on what I think who's likely to swap picks and move around. But that would be interesting.
I'm very curious of all the teams. I'm very curious to see what Vancouver does, because I know we know the hockey guy. He's a fan favorite of Vancouver. I think he's going to lose his mind if they pick Malhotra.
Pour one out for the Wolves. Their season is over.
Well, I feel bad for Carolina's prospects. I don't feel bad for Wolves fans, considering they want to LARP as the 33rd NHL team and then act like they're the boss and then talk about, how much everything sucks. And then Carolina continues to give them good rosters, and then they continue to complain about how Carolina does business. And they just had another Calder Cup appearance. And how many is that between the Checkers and the Wolves as far as Carolina affiliates?
A lot. It's a lot.
So 2019, they won it. Then they've went what, twice since then and won it once. So that's 3 in 8 years that they've won 2 of them. I think it is. Yeah. So I cannot wait to be done being associated with that organization. I hope to God they're back with the Checkers after next year. I don't want anything else to do with the
that
Chicago
or just
Wolves.
expand it to our own. Yeah.
You know what? If they could just renovate Dorton and put the AHL team in there, or better yet, buy the Stingrays. No selfish reasons for that for myself at all. Absolutely not a self-interested hope at all. I would have season tickets so fucking quick. This would turn into nothing but prospects channel in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, well, Carolina's not had a good relationship with Chicago.
Well, it's hard to have a good relationship with a psychotic bitch.
I remember that article.
That's what they are. They're literally the girl from Obsession. That's the meme. That's them.
No spoilers. I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, I've not seen it either. I just know about the memes.
Yeah,
because I'm kind of like, I see some of the memes of it. I'm like, yeah, I've been in that situation. Yeah, I can sympathize with this.
Hey Matt, guess what? They just released the lineup for the parade tomorrow.
I think I did see that. Yeah, I guess we'll look into that and see what's going on. But anyway, I'm gonna get Cully. I was planning to get there around 9:00. That's probably not going to be soon enough. Like it's getting ridiculous. Like it's probably like more over 100,000 people are going to be there. Raleigh's not built for that. Raleigh's not built to accommodate that many people.
Well, I mean, when I heard 100,000 people, I was like, really? Is there really going to be 100,000 people? Like, here's I love Hurricanes. I just think that's a bit of a reach in terms of the numbers, but
I mean, hockey's bigger than ever in the Triangle, so it very well could turn out to be a turnout like that. See, like when I was wanting to try and come up, I was going to bring my dog with me, but he might have a freaking panic attack around that many people at once, so I'm just not going to do it. I can't make it anyway. So
that's why my wife is not going. She's not all about that.
Yeah, like I said, I'll come to the one next year. So because I think there will be one next year. I legitimately believe that they're going to win again. I really do.
Every reason to believe they can. I mean,
yeah, they absolutely can.
They're better. They are. I think they proved that they are the best team in the league right now. Easily the best team in the league. Mm-hmm. And I guess we can wait to see. I mean, the free agency class here kind of sucks.
That plays in our favor then.
Yeah,
nobody can get better.
No one can get really a lot better. There's no one really we need to worry about in terms of massively improving their roster. I mean, we'll see what trades
and
happen.
If a trade needs to be made, Carolina's got the assets to make one if they decide to go that route.
We are this came up a little bit earlier. A lot of teams have to pay the cup tax. We do not.
Yeah, because everyone signed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just got to get Nikishin done, whatever that ends up looking like.
Yep, and that's either bridge or long term. I'm okay with both. Yeah, I mean, I am just over the moon happy with this season. Like it was a bit of a roller coaster, obviously dealing with those injuries, but it forged them and kind of baptized them in fire a little bit, and they just would not be denied. Like when things looked bleakest, they stepped it up in ways that the previous seven Rod Brindamore teams would not have been able to do. And so I'm so freaking happy. And I do want to comment on this. I don't know if you know Nick Kyprios and Steve Valaket.
Yeah.
God,
those people that between the two of them, maybe they can rub their IQ points together and start a fire.
A small fire. A very small fire. They might be able to light a candle.
They could rub both of their IQ points together and maybe start a fire.
Can they light this?
So they went on and on about how, the Kane system still, they still don't believe in it, because they're just too much.
They won the damn cup.
Volume.
Yeah.
So they give up too much off the rush, and they just do volume shooting, and they needed, boy, they're sure lucky that they got through those first rounds quickly. And if they had to face some adversity, they should have lost more. They should have lost more to prove themselves to this idiot.
That doesn't make sense.
But that was his argument. He was saying that they needed to lose more games in order to show that they were better than they are. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit. So, like, I know Griff was saying it earlier, like it's like now we can always clap back.
Would you say that about the 1988 Oilers?
I can't hear you over the sound of the parade and the cup, but it's still. And you mentioned this, Brandon. There are some people who will just never respect it. Never.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what, we could win 10 straight cups and they'd find a way to bitch. There's some people that is just never going to happen.
Well, I mean, I've never been a fan.
But it is funny. It is funny to listen to. Yeah, Kyprios and Valaket, and they're complete and utter.
I've never been a fan of Kyprios. I don't know much about Valaket. I've stopped listening.
He's a Rangers guy. He's a Rangers guy who does their post game stuff.
Well,
supposedly he was a
goaltender
at some point. Yeah, supposedly he was some kind of goaltender at one point. But whatever. Like I can tell by listening to that nonsense that he is a waste.
I don't understand that. They had to lose more to win the cup. That's no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
that does explain it. Mm-hmm.
Do what, Sam?
Elliot Friedman's the GOAT in terms of hockey journalist.
Yeah, I mean he is. This year he made a couple of mistakes that I think are not like him. But yeah, I mean I'm not gonna knock him too much. He is actually willing to give us our due.
He is.
Give the Hurricanes their due. And so I don't begrudge him at all. Elliot Friedman I do like. Someone in the chat is not a fan of the hockey guy. I mean, I still like he's incredibly knowledgeable. He pumps out a ton of content.
Yeah, I don't watch him as much as I used to just because I'm busy with making my own now. Is the only reason I don't watch him as much as I used to. I mean, I kind of got a lot of my ideas from him. Like, it's just instead of a whiteboard, I use the Google Slides, but I use the advanced stats more than he does, but I got a lot of my ideas from him.
But I just respect the amount of work he puts into it.
Yeah, he makes like 4 videos a day.
Yeah. Even in the off season.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I a lot of and he's incredibly knowledgeable of the game. He's been an avid watcher of hockey for like 40 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you guys like country music?
Yeah.
So
did you see Darius Rucker? I
did not.
Yeah, Darius Rucker released a video of him congratulating the Hurricanes on winning the Stanley Cup.
Oh, good for that.
Yeah,
I'll be perfectly honest. So I grew up in jazz. My family they're jazz musicians. That's kind of what I grew up hearing.
Oh, okay.
I am actually I went to school for classical music. And so that's my wheelhouse. Was never a huge fan. I mean, I don't hate it, but country was never really my thing. It's my wife's thing. My wife loves it. But I'm a jazz and classical guy, which makes me a little bit of a snob, but it is what it is. So hope you don't think less of me for it, but
I don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm just over the moon happy, and I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. Get to actually maybe take a look at the players, get to see the cup. That'll be nice. I have to navigate through the apparently unprecedented crowds. So that'll be fun. And got to get there 3 hours early to even park. So
are we getting there at 8, Matt?
That's my plan now, at least. I don't know if you want to still do that, Sam, but I think that's my plan just because it's going to be ridiculous. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe not. But we can talk later. See what you want to do. But yeah,
I mean that's fine. I'm definitely taking a nap when I get back.
Yeah.
Dude, I've only had 2 full nights of sleep since they won the cup, because the night they won the cup, I didn't fall asleep till about 3 a.m, and I had to be up 3 hours later.
Me too. Same. Yeah,
I could not fall asleep. I was just too excited. I just kept replaying everything in my head, and then
I'm still replaying it. It's going to be replaying it for the next 10 months.
Oh yeah.
It's just now it doesn't keep me awake, and then the next night that's why I didn't stream that night or the next night, because I couldn't sleep, and I didn't know what to say if I had streamed. I was speechless with everything that happened, and it took me a couple of days to even find words to come on here and have. So it was like, I mean, it's like I said before. I started believing in this team when Jarvis fought Gergensen. For whatever reason, that was where the switch flipped for me. I think that was because I was like, everyone said, oh, the Canes are eventually, they're going to run into somebody in the playoffs that are going to bully them. The team that had the best chance to do that got punched in the mouth immediately, and that was Ottawa, and quite literally got punched in the mouth. And I never worried about them getting goalied because they were scoring an average of 3.2 or whatever it was per game throughout the entirety of the playoffs. So I just didn't worry about it. It's like Aho line's not scoring and other people are picking up the slack. I was excited. I never worried. The only, if you want to call it, downside of this playoffs was that Carolina didn't play against anybody that I hate. That's not going to be a problem next year because either Florida or Buffalo, I think Carolina will end up playing one of them. So I will foam at the mouth again. It just didn't happen this year. But
we might get Jersey. Actually, I don't know. Probably
it's not even fun beating them anymore, man. It's just me apologizing to
JJ
JJ for absolutely manhandling them again. I don't want to do that to him.
Are you sure they'll even make yeah. So let's do this. Let's do some way too early predictions. I guess to sign off here.
New Jersey will not make the playoffs.
You don't think they'll be? Yeah, I think they might.
They'll be right on the outside looking in. Philadelphia will make it again. Ottawa will make it again, and I think they'll finish higher. Buffalo, I think, will win the Atlantic Division. Columbus will be on the bubble. They could make it. They could not.
Trying to change the culture and beat.
They'll either be right above or right below the cut line. I think if everyone's healthy, that's what I think will happen with Columbus.
I think Washington makes it.
Nah, it's gonna be a couple more years before they make it again.
For Washington, they're gonna need a little more time, I think.
That and they're probably about to sign Ovechkin again and handicap themselves for a couple more years from moving forward at all. So I mean, be my guest. Go ahead. Do it for the feels.
I do like Spencer Carberry. He's a good coach. So maybe
Spencer Carberry is a very good coach.
Maybe he can get more out of him than that. But I think they'll be on the outside looking in at the end of the day.
The thing that concerns me about Washington is that they've been winning games even without Ovechkin even contributing this past season.
I mean, that's Carberry's plan, but they just don't have. I think that their core still is. And they've got a few young guys. They're big, but they're kind of slow. They don't have enough young guys, really good young talent yet. I mean, McMichael is decent, Leonard is decent, but outside of that, I'm not seeing it.
Cole Hudson.
Cole Hudson, he'll be a different speaker this year.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what he does, but I do think he'll be a good contributor for them.
And I think another thing too, just looking at the Metro Division, there's just a lot of average teams, and then there's us.
See, the Islanders are another team that I think will be on the bubble too.
I think they'll be better. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll either go in like wild card 1 or 2 or barely miss. There's going to be a lot of bubble teams in the Metro. As far as teams in the Metro that will make it, I think Philadelphia will make it again. Carolina, of course, will make it. Let's see. Columbus.
Will Pittsburgh make it again?
No. That was a fluke.
That was a fluke? Okay.
That was a fluke.
So then you think Columbus replaces them?
Columbus
replaces Pittsburgh?
I think the Devils have a better chance of making the playoffs than Pittsburgh. And I don't think the Devils are going to make it.
I still think Pittsburgh's better than.
No. New Jersey just can't get out of their own way. Yeah, but he's 39, right? Like, how much longer is he going to do that?
Malkin's also there still.
Yeah.
So,
and
I'm not a huge believer in their goaltending either.
When you trade for Stuart Skinner, you're not in a good spot in your goaltending. It's like, okay, let's see, what other Metro teams am I not thinking? The Rangers are not going to make it.
Rangers are not making it.
So basically, I think the top 2 teams, like I kid you not, the top 2 teams in the Metropolitan Division next year, Carolina and Philadelphia, and the gap between them is still going to be pretty big. And then from 3rd and wild card 1 and 2, as far as Metro teams go, it'll be Columbus, and then a battle of mid for the wild card teams, of which they'll probably both be Atlantic Division teams. But
that's what I think.
I think the Islanders will push for it, and Columbus will push for it. Rangers, Devils, they end up out below the cut line. The Atlantic Division is going to be brutal next season. I think Buffalo is actually going to win the Atlantic Division. I think Ottawa will place within the top 3 in the Atlantic Division. I think they'll get 2nd or 3rd. Tampa will make 2nd or 3rd again.
Montreal might be a wild card then.
Montreal is good, but they've got to start building around Demidov, Suzuki, Hudson, Caulfield. They've got a great core. They're best players. They know who they are. What they have to build next is the depth pieces and everything like that, and that's a lot easier to get than your top guys. But I think Buffalo's going to win. I think Montreal will go in either wild card 1 or Atlantic 3. Ottawa,
Tampa Bay could end up in the wild card spot.
Tampa Bay would probably be more likely to be in the wild card spot now that I think about it.
I was about to say that.
I think the top 3 in the Metro will be Montreal, Ottawa, and Buffalo in some order.
Yep.
And then the 2 wild card spots I think are both going to be Atlantic
Tampa and
Division
Boston,
as well.
Tampa and Boston, maybe. Yeah,
I think Florida will make the playoffs next year. I just don't think that they're going to.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, Florida will make the playoffs.
Who do they knock it off then? Because that's 6.
Boston.
You can't
Probably Boston. I don't think Boston's going to make the playoffs. I think that
Boston needs to go on a rebuild. I think.
No, let them keep sucking. I'm good with it. I think Boston's going to be another one of those teams that's like right at the cut line and either gets in barely or doesn't get in. But yeah, the Atlantic Division is going to be a lot more unpredictable. But like with the Metro, I think you can go ahead and narrow down 2 teams in the top 2 spots. And you have the battle of mid for the 3rd spot, and then maybe one team gets lucky and slips into one of the wild card spots. But I think 5 of the 8 playoff divisions in the East are going to be the Atlantic Division again.
I agree. And then I guess out west, with the Pacific with the Central Division, here's maybe a spicy take for you. I think Dallas is going to have a tough time this year.
Me too.
I think they probably still get in, but it's going to be as like a wild card. And
I gotta see what happens with Robertson, though.
They're going to have to trade him.
That's why.
They're going to have to trade him.
That's why I expect them to have some trouble. I think they're gonna run into that problem there. They're gonna have to something's got to give, and I think Dallas is gonna have to end up dumping someone that they really can't afford to lose, as their team is constructed, and they're gonna struggle. I think Minnesota is gonna win that division.
That wouldn't surprise me. Because on July 1st, they're going to go ahead and lock. They're going to go ahead and lock Quinn Hughes up. That's
Quinn Hughes will be there. Wallstedt's going to be an absolute. I think Wallstead is going to be an absolute.
Minnesota's one of those teams I think is going to try to make another big trade this summer. I think.
How about this spicy take? Minnesota is the Western Conference champion.
That I don't know about, but then again, the steps that they took this season after a year letting that team sit in the crock pot, I think they could.
I think they could.
They absolutely could. I don't know if they're good enough to where they could beat a team like Vegas yet, but that day is coming.
Here's a take.
Yeah. Well, about Vegas, I mean, what's their goaltending situation going to be? Like they don't like. I guess Carter Hart again. Okay.
They're bringing Hart back. I guarantee you.
I think Minnesota could light up. I think Minnesota could light them up, and they got a much better goalie.
Here's a take for you. I think it's going to be Minnesota, Colorado, Utah, and then Dallas.
Utah's good. Utah's good. They took a step this year that I think they're going to take another step. In fact, I think Minnesota, that'll be a series. Chicago is going to be a fringe team. They're getting closer.
They'll either be wild card 2 or just below the cut line. I think they're going to take a step. San Jose is going to make the playoffs as far as the Pacific Division goes. In fact, I think they'll make it.
In fact, I think San Jose might actually. They might be second in the division. Vegas probably will still win it again, but I think San Jose could challenge for it, and they could end up second.
This is why I think Nashville and Winnipeg are going to be battling out for the worst team in the Central.
Yeah,
they will.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
They're not good.
Anaheim, I think, could finish second in the Pacific. That they're a much better team than they were.
And then I think we could see first round of San Jose, Anaheim, the Battle of California. That'll be pretty. That
would be cool to see that again. Yeah. LA, I think, is going to be.
They're not going to make it.
They're not going to make it this time.
They're not going to make it
unless they replace Kopitar with somebody like Pettersson. Even then, let's see what else do we have out in the Pacific Division. Vancouver, they're going to suck. They might end up being dead last in the league.
I could see Seattle being close to Vancouver.
Seattle, I'm not convinced. They got to hold it to themselves out of after Ron Francis kind of put them in it.
Oh, I've seen this one. It's classic.
I've seen this one. They've got to hold a dig out of before they can be. I mean, they won't be terrible. They'll be mid.
Calgary's going to be pretty bad.
They miss the playoffs. Calgary is tanking.
See, and I can see Edmonton.
Although I like Wolf, I do
like Dustin Wolf. Yeah,
yeah, but they know that they're not trying to compete right now.
I think
they could
that,
be accidentally good, but I'm not seeing it. And then Edmonton, I think, will be a wild card maybe.
I actually think this might be the year that Edmonton finally where the wheels come off.
If they come off completely and they just
Because they've been holding on by a thread. They've been riding McDavid and Draisaitl for so long now. I think that, the moment that they have a substandard season, either one of them, not even both of them, I think that's it for Edmonton.
And golly, they got to figure out a way to keep the puck out of the net because the goalie sure as hell ain't.
No, and their defense is just not defense. It's like, I mean, Jesus Christ, you have Darnell Nurse making what, 9.25 a year or something like that. Like, that was never going to work.
Now, at least they are going to get rid of him because he is saying
they're going to try to get rid of him. I don't know if anybody's going to take that contract. If you can't trade Jesperi Kotkaniemi,
they're going to retain on it.
Let's see who else is out west. Honestly, the West is going to be kind of for the most part between both divisions.
One team we didn't mention that's in the Eastern Conference obviously is Detroit. They just got shattered by Larkin, saying he wants out.
They ain't making the playoffs.
I'm not entirely sure that they got shattered by it. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but them moving Larkin could actually go either way. It could be monumentally good or monumentally bad. If they get the right return for it, that might be the shakeup they needed. I think year after next, maybe Detroit could make the playoffs, but not next year. But in the Atlantic Division, especially. Yeah.
Larkin has all the leverage in that situation.
I think they're going to finish bottom in the Atlantic.
The Leafs are not going to do good either.
That's true.
No.
That's true. The Leafs will probably be like they'll fight for the bottom spot. The Leafs and the Wings.
Yeah, so that's the bottom two in the Atlantic, and so that leaves the rest of the Atlantic to be duked out between Tampa, Florida, Ottawa, Montreal,
and
Boston. So that would be the 5 teams that would potentially make the playoffs in the Atlantic. And in the Metro, it's Carolina, Philadelphia, and then fill in the blank for 2 more maybe. Maybe they take one wild card spot and somebody, participation trophies their way into third. See, that's the one way I could see Washington making it, as if they Mickey their way into third place in the Metro like they almost did this season.
Yeah, it's one of Washington, Pittsburgh, or Columbus.
I think Pittsburgh's
or the Islanders. Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's going to.
If I had to choose between, let me ask you this: between Columbus and the Islanders, who makes the playoffs between the two
Islanders.
of them? I think so too. Just on Schaefer alone, that's what I was thinking.
Schaefer.
And there's the possibility of Eklund making the team too.
Now I like Adam Fantilli on the Columbus. He's a really, really good player.
He didn't play as good this past season though.
I still like him. I still really like him as a player, and he can get results, but Boone Jenner's also leaving. I mean, they got Charlie Coyle sticking around. He had a pretty good year. Overpaid him ridiculously.
They overpaid the shit out of him.
But I mean, Columbus is going to be another bubble team that they'll probably still going to miss.
A team that's very hard to navigate is St. Louis.
They're going to be bad for a while.
They're going to be bad for a bit. I don't think they're going to.
But they have good young players in like Holloway,
Snuggerud.
Yeah,
I do. And Neighbors, I like Jake Neighbors.
Good.
But Bennington was just trash. So and I guess who else are they going to do? Who else are they going to play there? I don't know. Who's going to play goal for them? Husso?
I mean, if they're, selling the farm to rebuild, then Bennington would have to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they got 3 first-round picks here, and I think they can really kickstart they got a lot of assets. I think they're managed well. And Alex Steen taking over, I think he's going to do a good job there.
Yeah.
So they'll rebuild. I think they'll rebuild for a couple years, and then they'll be back, but next year now. So that's how I see the league shaking out. And the only thing I might be worried about is if the Hurricanes take the President's Trophy. You don't want that.
They won't,
because I don't see who is better. I don't see who's going to win more games.
Somebody out west.
Who? Colorado again?
I could see Minnesota. I can see Minnesota. To me, Minnesota, Colorado, and Buffalo or Montreal are teams.
I could see Montreal actually winning the President's Trophy just because they score so much. Too. And then when they go to the playoffs and play against a team like Carolina again, get snuffed out.
Yeah.
I guess maybe if Dobich takes another step.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah. But their defense is still like defensively, I don't think they have a good goalie, but they're defensively, I still think they give up too much.
Yeah. See, that's where
And,
I give Ottawa an edge over Montreal. Ottawa's a solid
I
team
agree.
defensively.
I think
Ottawa is right now where Carolina was in 2019. That team has got a good, solid foundation for a long-term upward trajectory. I think that they're going to just get better. I really do.
I agree. And
we will see
especially if
them
Allmark
again.
continues being that good.
Yeah, and it's like
playoffs.
all their guys are locked up long term. All their important players. Like, so it's like, especially their defense. It's like Sanderson, Zub, Shabbat, Clevin. All those guys are locked up long term. If
they could even make an Eastern Conference run if things fall their way.
Oh, they absolutely could. If they stay healthy and everything, they absolutely could. Like, that's a good team there. It's just the youth and inexperience is what slowed them down.
Well, we gave them a lesson. See if they learn from it.
I think they did. But like you said, Philadelphia probably took the most notes out of everybody that Carolina played against.
Yep.
Yeah. Vladar was good in that series.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, if he wasn't hurt, that would have been a little bit harder to beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Is anyone else coming on, or is that probably about it?
I think that's it. Not Dave Canales was going to come on, but he said he was going to a birthday party, so he may or may not make it, and I haven't heard from him yet. So I think that's going to be it. So everybody, here's what we're planning on. On Friday night, we are going to do a draft preview, which is the night before the draft. And then on the night of the draft, we will be doing player grades from the playoffs. So that way the draft is not so brutal this time, as well as talking about the players that Carolina could potentially pick before they inevitably trade that pick back. So
point of order, the draft is Friday night. First round is Friday night.
Oh, the first round's Friday night? Fuck.
Yes,
okay.
is.
Thursday night we'll do the
Thursday I'm at the beach. It's gonna be tough. Yeah. If you want to do like I am available Friday though to do the first round, and if you want to, because maybe we could mix in the playoff grades though while we're waiting on people to make their picks. And
well, what we could do is if we want to do your talk about the picks and everything like that, what I can do is how about this? I'll lose some sleep to do this, but I'll do it. Send me all the stuff in emails, all the notes and everything like that about the players you think Carolina could potentially draft. I'll get the slides put together and we can do it on Sunday night.
Sunday night I leave on Sunday.
Oh, you leave on Sunday.
That's a problem. I leave on Sunday.
Tomorrow's Saturday, right?
Tomorrow's Saturday. I'm going to the parade. So yeah, there's a little bit of a logistics challenge here. I could probably
What if we do it early on Friday?
We're driving back. I could probably be ready because I'll be here early Friday evening, maybe around 5:00 or so.
That'd be fine. We'll just do it all at once. Yeah. It's just the same thing where you're going to list the players you think Carolina could draft, right?
Sure.
Like we did last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I might be able to do that while I'm there, burn a little midnight oil.
Yeah.
listen to the waves while I work on that.
Yeah. Do that and send me those notes. If nothing else, we'll just put the notes on slides and then we'll pull up elite prospect pages while we go over stuff and everything. We'll find a way to make it work. Just tell me which players throughout the like we did last year where we picked out 7 players you think the Canes could draft or whatever it was. And I'll do the rest from there. And we'll do that right before the draft, or we can even do it during the draft while we're waiting on Carolina to make their pick.
Sure.
There's options there.
In the interest of time, I don't think I'll go into much depth as potential late round sleepers. Just because, like I said, I put a lot of my energy into the playoff run rather than looking at the draft. I had more time last year.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just do some players that I'd like to take, maybe 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah, that works.
I hope they don't do the dark room like they did last year, where the player comes in.
Oh, the Emperor's throne room.
Yeah. That was so weird. I thought
it felt kind of dystopian. It was kind of like, you belong to me now. Ha 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 ha.
What is thy bidding, my master?
That's literally what it was. I was kind of like, yo, what are they doing to these poor kids?
And the televised interview, what
I'm like, these are literal teenagers, and you're like,
what's his name? Whoever Buffalo. Oh yeah, it was Mertka, Reddy Mertka. He looked like he was blink twice if you need help.
Yeah, he looked worse than when Markstrom got traded to the Devils, and he made that video where he looked like he was in an ISIS hostage video or something. It's a great time to be a Devil. It's a great time to be a Devil. Say it again, or else. It's like, because that's what it looked like. I was like, yo, hey, blink twice if someone on the other side is wearing a black balaclava and holding an AK-47. like as you're reading this, because that's what it looked like. It looked like an ISIS hostage video. I was like, are they going to behead this poor guy? I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't like the Devils, but I don't want that to happen to him.
Are you planning
on that note,
on free agency, Brandon?
Do what?
Free agency.
A certain. I might do something that day, but a certain other show might be coming back that day, if you catch my drift. So I might let them do it because I need a break, dude. I have been doing so much lately, and I didn't even do all the things I wanted to do. I hope to be better prepared next season because I was not expecting them to be where they were for a long time. And I didn't even get the chance to prepare everything I want. But now I'm going to prepare everything over the summer, and I'm going to try to get like a Tamper Monkey script written. So that way I can just click one button and it'll put all the stats in for me. So that way I don't have to go through there and manually hand jam it because that takes fucking forever. Mm-hmm. So it's like either that or I'm going to like hire somebody to put the stats in for me if I ever get monetized on it. Like I'm going to come up with something different because it takes forever for me to put stuff together. Like it looks good when it's done, but it takes a long damn time to put all the slides together. So it's just that's the only problem with it. I gotta find a more efficient way of doing that, and that's what I'm going to try and spend the summer doing.
One day, Brandon, not to create more work for you, but to totally create more work for you. If you that little telestration thing that you got, I want to do like a breakdown of Blake's goal in Game 6.
So
that is just immaculate, like perfect. It's got
so what I was thinking we could do with that after I take my break when we start getting spun back up before training camp. What I think I'll do is okay, so here was the idea I had for that. I was thinking about doing live watch parties during the prospects showcase and then during the intermissions breaking down goals from the playoffs. So we can do two things at once.
That's
so
fun.
But after July 1st, I need like 2 months to just catch up on other shit in life.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to be working on preparing stuff here. But as far as like doing streams and stuff like that, and I haven't got to like shoot any aliens in Halo or drive any cars really fast and on my computer in months, and it's kind of driving me insane because that's one of the things I do to relax. And I barely gotten to skate lately either.
Take the shotgun to some space zombies.
I was gonna go skate yesterday, but I quit drinking energy drinks, and I was on the second day of it, and I had the worst headache that I think I've ever had yesterday, and I just had to lay in a dark room for like 2 hours until it went away. But now that I'm on the third day and I've only had coffee, I feel significantly better. So I'm trying to go to sleep at a good time, and which I was not doing for the last few weeks. I'm going to try to get, fucking ESPN and TNT having the games at 8:00. I miss NBC so much. But like, I want to just kind of try and get caught up on some other stuff in life. And I'm still going to like work on the channel here and there and be better prepared next season, hopefully. And then I've got some other like video and analysis projects I'm going to do. And like, I got some stuff I'm going to do over the summer. I'm just not going to be doing lives because it takes up a lot of time. But after, say, August 1st, something like that, or let's see, Prospect Showcases usually win late August.
Late August, yeah.
Late August is when I think I'll start spinning up again. But for about 2 months, what sucks is I'm going to fall out of the algorithm because I'm not going to do anything for a couple of months, really. I might try and jump on and do like something once a week just to stay in the algorithm, but I want it to be something of substance. So
we'll pump it up.
Yeah, we'll figure something. We might do the goal breakdowns then or something like that. We'll come up with something. Sure. It's just like I just need to dedicate 2 hours or less a week to this for at least a little while so I can catch up on other shit. But we will do something, and we'll be more prepared for next season. I'll make sure of that because I learned a lot from this season. So now I know what to prepare for as far as I've got a much more structured plan with how I'm going to do stuff next year.
Sounds good.
So Brandon, you didn't think the Canes were going to win the cup this season?
I didn't think they would. I didn't think they would until when Jarvis fought Gergensons. I was kind of like, all right, they've got a good shot at it. I even wrote on X that they were going to win the cup, and about 40 people bookmarked it, and I ain't heard fucking crickets out of them. Not one. When
I was convinced, I think it was game 3 or 4. I think it was game 3 against Ottawa. When Walker got that blood like kind of dripping down his face, but he had grin on himself that it was just like he looks like like Doom Guy when he picks up a new weapon. He was just like it was blood pouring down his face, and he's like I was scared of him. I was like, golly, he's like he looked just like a maniac, like an absolute
It's interesting because I didn't think Carolina was going to win the Cup. I thought they were a different team right when the playoffs started with Jordan Stahl fighting Brady Kachuk. I was like, they're going to be different this year. I don't know why, but I think they're going to
And he
be.
tagged him too. Like, cause I was thinking, it's like, okay, good for you standing up for the team, like not taking the crap. But then he caught Kachuk like with a hard right, and it actually it cut him in the post game. Yeah. I remember this. He had a little Band-Aid on his chin there. He's like he caught him hard. That was like,
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, we'll be better prepared then. I'm just going to take July and most of August off, and then we'll go from there. Also, I may have some better employment for myself then that'll give me my weekends back. So that'll be a good time to be able to actually do stuff. But yeah, I'll if you send me the stuff for the draft, I'll get it ready Sunday evening because I've got an 11 o'clock freaking game on Sunday, and then I have to be up at 5:30. So I'm just going to stay up and get stuff done that day. So I'm just going to power nap, wake up, chug coffee, and go to work, and then probably crash immediately on Monday. So, but other than that,
yeah, I'll work on it. See if I can get you the stuff as quickly as possible.
Even if you only give me 5, I don't care.
All right. Well, we'll see. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
And remember, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Remember, in November, we're going to have a couple of new games starting at noon with games in Finland against Seattle.
Right. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be fun. Poor Kokaniemi. He's still going to be
getting booted off the team right when it's about to happen.
He's still he's still going to be on the team, and he's going to get scratched and not playing Finland, which would be really fucked up. But
that's like a Mike Babcock level move if Rod Brindamore does that. That's like you can't do that to him.
Well, I mean, we'll see, but like I just want him to go somewhere else where he can play.
I already took those days off of work just so I could watch those games.
Oh no, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna make sure I have those 2 days off too. Like unless I've got class, I can't get out of that. But I'll make sure I have those 2 days off, and I might organize some like watch parties down here for that. So, but yeah, no, it's gonna be cool to see them playing they haven't played an international game since I think last time they did was in Finland.
2010.
It was
yeah, and then there was one time. Yeah, and then there was one time way before that they played against Scott St. Petersburg actually.
I remember that too. Yeah. All righty, we about done?
Yep, that's all I got. Sam?
That's all I got.
All right, cool. All right, everybody. More good stuff coming up. Then I'll take a break. But like I said, a certain other podcast may be coming back to entertain you while I'm gone. And of course, Sam, please give them your information in regard to the Caniac Report.
Yeah, so you can find the Caniac Report on X, Instagram, Blue Sky for our social media handles, and also you can also listen to our podcast is everywhere you get your podcasts, and you can watch us on YouTube as well.
All righty.
Fantastic.
All right, everybody. Sorry we didn't get to go through the comments. We had a lot of guests tonight. One thing I will do before I go on a break, I'll have just a straight up Q&A night, and I might have to require super chats for it, though, just because getting so many damn comments now, I can't keep up with all of them anymore. It was one thing when I had 15 or 20 a stream, but now it's like in the hundreds. All right, guys, we're going to end it here. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good night.
Matthew, thank you. Sam, thank you. Y'all have a good night.
No problem.
We won the cup, by the way.